Texas ahead of Game 1 of this 2023 World Series, the 119th edition of the Fall Classic, an event that has so much great history, all the way back to the first World Series in 1903. It's been held every year except for two, 1904, where John McGraw and the Giants just didn't want to play the old American League, and then 1994, there was no World Series that year. Every other year since 1903, the Boston Americans beat the Pittsburgh Pirates in that first edition of the World Series. American League holds the all-time lead, 67-51. That's a pretty sizable advantage. A lot of that comes with the Yankees. They are the all-time leaders, of course, with 27 World Championships. And we've had this best-of-7 format every year, other than that first World Series and then the 3 years, 1919 to 1921, when the World Series was a best-of-9. Moments ago here in Arlington, speaking of history, President George W. Bush, who's got great personal history with this Rangers franchise. He is a big fan of the Texas Rangers, spent a lot of his life associated with this franchise. Here to throw out the ceremonial first pitch to a Texas Rangers Hall of Famer, Buzz Rodriguez, one of the all-time great catchers. Maybe the most iconic ceremonial first pitch in the history of the game. In 2001, after everything that had happened just a few weeks earlier, President Bush on the mound, just absolutely perfect to start the World Series against the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. Diamondbacks have not been back to the Fall Classic until now, since that 2001 World Series. Our umpires, this is the crew for the World Series. Bill Miller is our crew chief. He would be behind the plate for Game 7 if the series gets that far. DJ Rayburn, in his first World Series, he gets the assignment to call balls and strikes here tonight in Game 1. Alfonso Marquez, David Rackley, Brian Knight, Vic Carapazza, and also Quinn Wolcott, who is not on the field tonight. He'll be behind the plate tomorrow, part of this crew. Todd Tichenor, Lance Barrett are the umpires who will handle all the replay reviews. So it's a mix of experience. Bill Miller, Alfonso Marquez, a lot of first-time umpires. This is a huge night for them.
It's a really big night for umpires. They have been well thought of over the course of this year because of the system to rate these umpires. So you're looking at some of the world's best umpires that are going to be calling balls and strikes, and we know how important the difference is between a 2-1 count and a 1-2 count. So you want these guys behind the plate.
They don't want to be a part of the story. Sometimes they turn out to be. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks, who is the visiting team for Game 1. Will come up in the top of the first inning. Their 23-year-old superstar right fielder Corbin Carroll will hit leadoff once again. Ketel Marte, the MVP of the NLCS, he's had an amazing postseason. Gabriel Moreno, the young catcher, not one time in the regular season did he hit third for the D-backs. Game 1 of the World Series, kid, you're hitting third. Christian Walker, Tommy Pham, the DH, Lourdes Gurriel, Alek Thomas in center field. The veteran Evan Longoria, who's playing in his first World Series since 2008 when he was a rookie all those years ago. And their shortstop, the switch hitter, Geraldo Perdomo. He's had a nice playoffs for Torey Lovullo's team. You see the bench. Arizona added a position player for the World Series to their roster. So they've got 5 position players, one shy in the bullpen of what Bruce Bochy and the Rangers have.
And I think this is going to play out as we're watching this over the course of, hopefully it gets to 7 games. We love long series, but that was something that Torey Lovullo wanted, was to have an additional player on the bench for possible pinch hit matchups.
The Diamondbacks are really hoping these games are close, lower scoring, I think, late inning kind of games, and then they feel like maybe they have an advantage over the Rangers. You see the Texas starting pitcher Nathan Eovaldi, his manager Bruce Bochy, who's been on this stage so many times. Bruce Bochy would join a very small club. If the Rangers win this World Series, it would be his 4th World Championship. He took the Padres to the World Series. He took the Giants there 3 times, won all 3 of those, and now his first year as the manager here in Texas, coming out of retirement, and he has helped turn this Rangers team around.
Pretty amazing when you think of Bruce Bochy. I mean, there's no question. When you're watching him, he is 2, 3, 4 batters ahead of the game.
So the Rangers take the field in front of their home fans. They get home field advantage in this best-of-7 World Series, and the numbers from the regular season. Nathan Eovaldi, for the first half of the year, Spilly, he was probably the best pitcher, certainly one of them in the American League. He got hurt. He's had a great postseason.
Unbelievable. He's 4-0 in this postseason. They call him Nate the Great for a reason. It started back in 2018 when he was with the Red Sox, had a really outstanding outing in a game that the Red Sox lost, and just gained confidence from there. Over the regular season, 25 starts, 12-5. He did say at the beginning of this year that this Texas Rangers team had championship pedigree. And that was with Jacob deGrom and Martin Perez and John Gray. But that has not been the story at all of this postseason. It's basically been Eovaldi and Jordan Montgomery. And as you're watching Nathan Eovaldi, StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. The split finger, Dave, is the pitch to pay attention to. That gives him ground balls. It allows his four-seam fastball to play up. It sits right around 97, can touch 100 when he wants it. But it is a really difficult pitch for both righties and lefties to square up. And also imagine this, a right-handed hitter has only been one to hit a homer off of Eovaldi in the postseason. That was Alex Bregman, but that is it. He is shutting down right-handed power.
Amazing, all the playoff experience for him. He's never started a World Series game until tonight. The defense for the Rangers, and I know you think defense is going to be a big factor in this World Series. Both teams really good on that side of the ball.
Well, Josh Young for me is really something that makes Corey Seager that much better at shortstop, because it allows Seager to play a little bit more shaded up the middle. Eovaldi's a high ground ball rate pitcher with the ability to strike out. So this is going to be a game where you have to get guys on via a hit. Good luck, Arizona.
So Eovaldi and the Rangers out in the field, and the 2023 World Series in Arlington, Texas gets going with the 23-year-old Corbin Carroll from the left side leading off for the Diamondbacks. And here we go, Eovaldi. First pitch of the World Series, and Corbin Carroll was not just going to watch it go by, fouls it out of play.
One of the first things you want to do as a player is calm your nerves. It feels like a regular game, but you know it's not.
Carroll, who had a quiet NLCS until the end, had a great Game 7 in Philadelphia. Swings through that 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-2. Eovaldi on the ground to first, and not an easy play, handled nicely by Lowe for out number one.
One of the hardest plays is the in-between hop with topspin. That's exactly what Nathaniel gets at first. His defense at first, so good. We also love the stirrups. Says, bonjour, comment ça va? I got you, no problem. In between hops, spinning, and hitting Eovaldi. Really good way to start off the World Series defensively.
Now you make one mistake as fast as Corbin Carroll is, you lose your chance to get him out. So that was a good play. Ketel Marte, first pitch swinging, pops one foul back and out of play. What a playoffs Ketel Marte has had. He had a nice playoff run all the way back in 2017. Hadn't had a chance to play in the postseason since then until this year. Picked up right where he left off.
Well, I think the one aspect about Ketel Marte's game where he's a true switch hitter. The Rangers are not going to want to flip him over to the right side, because that's where he does a ton of damage.
And one to Marte, and that's strike two. That's nasty. Now Marte will use his one timeout. We play with the same rules that we had in place. A lot of new rules, clock rules, timeout rules in the regular season. They carry over here into the World Series. Off the outside, and it's 1-2. And that's the splitter. You talked about it when we were first starting our telecast. Eovaldi, that split finger pitch, as he has evolved in his career, has become more and more of a weapon. Marte fights that one off foul.
As we've watched baseball this season, we noticed that the split finger has been a pitch in vogue. We're seeing more usage around the league, and the reason why, it enhances your fastball and it allows you to get away with some margin for error.
Last fastball 98 miles an hour, throwing hard here at the start, and bounced that one in. 2-2.
Well, the league hit during the regular season 111 off the split finger. He threw it 30% of the time.
Yeah. Not a coincidence that he started throwing it more and more. They couldn't hit it. Marte was hit in every playoff game that he's ever played in. All 16 of them. On the ground to first. A little more routine for Lowe. 2 down. So 2 outs, nobody on, and Torey Lovullo's lineup here in Game 1 of this World Series. One thing I give the Diamondbacks credit for, they aren't just entrenched in whatever they think day to day. They will make changes and react to what they're seeing. And Moreno, the young catcher, hitting third in this Game 1 lineup. Takes the fastball outside, ball 1.
I think the one thing that stands out about the Diamondbacks team, even though they're still young, they will not chase. They will not go outside of the strike zone.
Went in there for a strike. It's not like they take a ton of walks as a team. It's more like exactly how you put it. They're going to force you to come into the strike zone, and then when you do, they're ready to swing the bat. Eovaldi's 1-1. The outside, ball 2.
I've heard different terms. Suffocate the strike zone is one of my terms that I've seen or heard from hitting coaches. Suffocate the strike zone. Take it over.
In the playoffs, only the Twins more pitches per plate appearance than these Diamondbacks. So now it's 2-2. That was a little harder splitter. Sometimes the velocity on that split finger pitch will vary.
Well, out of the hand, it looks like a strike, and then it's all vertical drop. It goes straight down. Your eyes can't pick it up. Well, now he's set up. He can go high fastball, see if he can punch his ticket and just set this crowd into a frenzy.
2 down, nobody on. Eovaldi's 2-2. Off the outside. That's the cutter, the pitch that in some ways has kind of replaced the slider that he used to throw. 91-mile-an-hour cutter. Full count to Moreno. He strikes out swinging. He got him with the splitter. So Nate Eovaldi retires his side in order. And when we come back for the bottom of the first, Zach Gallen takes the mound for the great start for Nate Eovaldi and the Rangers in the top of the first. So now Texas will come up in a scoreless game, bottom of the first. Marcus Semien, who has hit leadoff every single game, start to finish for the Rangers this year. Amazing. 175 games in the leadoff spot already this year for Texas. Corey Seager's had a terrific year. The young Evan Carter, what a story he is. Adolis Garcia, the MVP of the American League Championship Series. Mitch Garver, the DH. I'm at catcher. Nathaniel Lowe at first base. Josh Young and Leody Taveras, a center fielder, will bat ninth. We mentioned how one extra bullpen arm for Bruce Bochy, one fewer position player. The lineup will face the right-handed ace for Arizona, Zach Gallen.
Well, I think as you're watching Zach Gallen, this is one of the league's best strike throwers. He's also doing something he hasn't done before. This is the most amount of innings pitched he's ever had in his career.
I think there has been some thought that maybe those innings are starting to catch up to Zach Gallen a little bit. That's a big miss by his standards. He is an extreme strike thrower. You sort of figure the adrenaline has to be pumping for him. Semien ahead of the count, 1-0. Bottom of the first, no score. There's a strike for Gallen.
Well, in the last series against the Houston Astros, Marcus was getting pitched fastballs at the top of the strike zone and was not getting to it.
When Zach Gallen is right, that's a big weapon for him. Semien fouls that one out of play.
And you know this after seeing so many years of baseball, especially with your role with the Giants. When guys get tired, it's not about velocity, it's about mislocation.
The fastball just hasn't been as well located for Gallen throughout the playoffs. That one bounced to short. Geraldo Perdomo just in time to get Marcus Semien.
Well, for Zach, he has 3+ pitches. Statcast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. The knuckle curve is really an electric pitch. Throw the changeup, cut the fastball. What it really boils down to is four-seam knuckle curve changeup combo. And for right-handers, those are the guys that struggle the most. Lefties, he always has to figure out how to get them out, and that's the knuckle curve.
So one out for Gallen and the Diamondbacks. Now Corey Seager is going to get MVP votes for his performance this year. He takes a fastball high for ball one. He's had a great playoffs, had the monster home run in Game 7 against the Astros on the road. A game that got Texas back to the World Series. Just off the inside, and it's 2-0.
Well, Seager had a game this postseason where he walked 5 times. It's a postseason record, and this is something that is very hard to walk if you're in the strike zone.
He's ahead of the count, 2-0. Takes that one off the plate inside, 3-0. This location in the strike zone has been an issue for Zach Gallen, and the walks have been up. He's a guy who, if he's right, he is not going to issue many walks. That one called a strike on the outside corner, 3-1.
Well, to your point, man, just in 4 postseason starts, he's used to racking up strikeouts, and it's been 4 strikeouts or less.
Good hitters count, 3-1. Seager fouls it out of play. He did face the Rangers twice in the regular season with this new schedule. The new schedule was a big part of the story of the regular season in MLB. And Gallen faced him twice, pitched well both times. 3-2. That is ball 4. So Corey Seager starts his World Series off with a walk. How about the defense for the D-backs?
As you're watching them, you have Gurriel at left field, Alec Thomas, who is a Gold Glove nominee in center field, Corbin Carroll in right. Christian Walker really anchors the infield, Ketel Marte, Gerardo Perdomo, who's an all-star, and then Evan Longoria, Gabby Moreno, who just won the Fielding Bible Award behind the plate.
So now Evan Carter, what a story he is. He takes strike 1 from Gallen. Just like Gabby Moreno for the D-backs, not one start as a 3-hitter in the regular season. Now he has been the 3-hitter plenty of times these playoffs for Texas. Had a terrific finish to the year. Just got called up from the minor leagues for the final month of the season. And here he is hitting 3rd in the World Series at age 21. Very high from Gallen. The only player younger in the history of the World Series to hit 3rd than this guy, Evan Carter, Mickey Mantle.
How about Max Scherzer? When Carter joined the team in September, they called him the savior.
And he kind of did. Rangers were struggling. They hit their one real slump of the year late, and it almost cost them a chance to play in the playoffs. And it might have if not for the contributions of this young man. He will pull the ball. He's got some power. Bruce Bochy thinks he'll develop more. And he slashes that one off to the left and foul. But the main thing that he does is command the strike zone as a hitter.
He swung at 7% of the pitches outside the strike zone. If you don't realize that is such a minuscule number. I mean, we're talking some of the lowest in baseball as you're paying attention. 10% chase rate. Unbelievable.
For a guy just getting acclimated to this level. Runner at first, no score, bottom 1. Carter, big chopper, maybe off the plate. It's going to kick foul.
In the case of Carter, he went through 2020 during the pandemic, and nobody around baseball really knew who Evan Carter was. The Texas Rangers had a connection. A scout played with his dad, went to the same high school, and that's how they knew about Evan Carter. Carter just snuck in as a 2nd rounder where nobody around the entire United States really had an idea who Evan Carter was.
When they announced the draft pick, people around baseball were like, who? Literally, a lot of high-ranking baseball people had never heard his name when he got drafted. 2-2. He Hammers that one into right center field into the gap, and Evan Carter has himself another hit off the bottom of the wall. Seager was running all the way. He'll round third and score. And the 21-year-old kid puts Texas ahead 1-0.
Exactly the start the Rangers want. Teams that score first this postseason 27-9. The Rangers are 7-0 when they score first. 107 miles an hour off the bat. And for Carter, he knew Gallen's struggling with his location early on. I can hunt fastball.
So now Adolis Garcia has just had this incredible playoff run hitting for power. He takes ball one, exactly what you told us to look for. Zach Gallen, that was a miss in the strike zone, and Evan Carter was ready for it. Rangers undefeated when they score first in the playoffs. They've scored one and they have a chance for more. Garcia takes a strike. That was a very pitcher-friendly strike. Adolis Garcia a little unhappy with that call. It's 1-1.
He has good reason. I mean, it starts looking like a strike, it falls off. Garcia's seen the baseball exceptionally well. He does not have a walk this postseason.
He wants to swing the bat. Why wouldn't he? That one misses down and in. Well, for the Diamondbacks, so much of this whole plan for them is built on Gallen and their number 2 starter Merrill Kelly working deep into games. It's going to be tough on them if Zach Gallen is not able to do that here in game 1. Carter with all his speed at second. 3-1.
These are pretty big misses. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Brent Strom, that's the Diamondbacks pitching coach, run out regardless of what happens in this at bat, just to try to settle him down.
You also start to wonder if first base is open. Maybe you're not feeling 100% comfortable yet in this game, and Zach Gallen may not be all that eager. I know it's early and it's a deep lineup, but may not be all that eager to challenge the hottest power hitter in the game right now. (3-1). Garcia, line drive base hit left field. Carter coming around third, and they're going to send him, and the throw is going to go into second. Adolis Garcia has tied the all-time record for runs batted in a single postseason. In his first at-bat in this World Series, it's 2-0.
It's a 3-1 count. Gallen goes to the knuckle curve. That's his best swing and miss pitch to a right-hander. And Garcia, El Bombi, he just rips one right to left field. Easy read for Beasley at third base to send Carter home. What a postseason for Adolis. 21 RBIs is just unbelievable.
You say the name David Freese to Rangers fans, they're not real happy about it. But then when you add Adolis Garcia, I think they're a little happier. I mean, this is one at bat in the World Series, so it's 12 games plus one at bat to drive in 21 runs, and the Rangers with 2 runs across, still only 1 out. Brent Strom did visit the mound, as you guessed he might. Now the DH Mitch Garver. He's got a lot of power in the dirt. Moreno, nice job of keeping it in the neighborhood of home plate, and Garcia didn't get a quick read, decided to stay put.
And it's a good decision from Garcia. Nice footwork from Moreno. And in the case of Mitch Garver, wasn't playing much. Got some at-bats in the Baltimore series and rewarded Bruce Bochy with a big homer.
And really, since then, he's been in there. That one called a strike. Well, the first 2 starts in these playoffs for Zach Gallen were Gallen-like. Since then, not so much. Those last 2 plus the first inning here tonight, he is getting hit hard. 1-1. 1. Got the swing and foul tip right into the mitt. Strike 2. Even that, though, that's 95 miles an hour. The velocity has not been the issue. That one was right out over the plate. This will be his 25th pitch. Still only 1 out. Quick move to first. One thing the Diamondbacks do really well, it's not just their catcher, it's their pitchers too. They hold runners. It is hard to steal bases against the D-backs. That's a pretty short lead for Garcia over at first base. 1-2. Carver on the ground. Longoria is going to go to second, get one, throw to first. Not in time. I'm sure the Diamondbacks are going to ask for a minute just to check and make sure that call at first was the correct one. It was close. Torey Lovullo's going to challenge right away.
That's a big challenge early on because you don't want to lose it. This was a pretty slow developing play. Longo gets it over to Marte as quick as possible.
Arizona is challenging the safe call at first base.
I think that's a pretty good look. You see why they're challenging. He's out. Moment of truth is when the ball hits any part of the glove, so it touches the glove, that's when the call gets made, and the foot was not on the bag. That's going to be a double play. And for Torey Lovullo and the D-backs, a much needed one, not just to limit the damage at 2, but to get Zach Gallen back in the dugout. Maybe hit the reset button.
Well, he's going to have to.
After review, the call in the field is overturned. The runner is out. Arizona will retain their challenge.
So the D-backs don't lose a challenge. You get 2 in these World Series games. Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks head back into their dugout. But the kid, Evan Carter, with another big playoff hit. And then Adolis Garcia's 21st run batted into the playoffs. Rangers with a 2-0 lead.
It probably should be an illegal pitch just based on the movement, the profile, and to give you an idea, four-seam fastball for Nathan Eovaldi when it comes to feet and distance, the difference between the fastball and the split finger is almost 4 feet. That's a lot of distance for a hitter to contend with. Now, he splits his finger, the ball comes out, and it's essentially a fastball with knuckleball movement. The great Gaylord Perry made it to the Hall of Fame throwing a spitball. That essentially works the same as a split finger.
Spoken like a true hitter, Ryan Spilborghs. Hard to hit. Ban it. It should be illegal. It is a nasty pitch for Nate Eovaldi now with a 2-run cushion after the Rangers strike for 2 in the bottom of the first. Christian Walker takes strike 1. Spilly, I think of all the Diamondbacks, this is the guy they really need to get going. He had a very quiet NLCS.
Well, he feels like he's guessing a little bit. I mean, the Philadelphia Phillies, they were spinning him early. They were throwing fastballs up. He's much more of a low ball hitter than a high ball hitter. And quickly down 2 strikes. See if Eovaldi challenges him up or if he just forces him to expand the strike zone.
He's taken some walks. It's not like he hasn't contributed. He took that one off the outside, but he is 4 for his last 31 at the plate. This was their everyday cleanup hitter, 30+ home runs. The 1-2. 2-2. Among all first basemen in the big leagues, 3rd most home runs, 3rd most runs batted in, 5th best OPS. Man, we talk about Ketel Marte is an underrated player. Christian Walker is too. He also might be the best defensive first baseman.
I don't even think that's in the question. I think he is the best defensive first baseman in baseball right now.
2-2. Good take off the outside on that curveball.
The last 2 takes for Christian Walker, he gets his foot down early. He's almost in a defensive position to just try to fight any pitch off.
He's behind the count. Now he's worked it full. 3-2. Strike 3 call. There was no nuance on that one. That was right there. 2nd strikeout for Eovaldi.
So he's probably looking off speed and soft, and he just takes a fastball right down the middle. Usually when you see a hitter do this, they're looking soft.
So one out for Tommy Pham. Both these teams really helped themselves around the trade deadline. Tommy Pham, a player that the Diamondbacks acquired at the deadline. And look, the numbers haven't been monstrous between the Mets and the D-backs. But a very experienced player. Guy not afraid of the big moment. He foul tips that splitter. It's 0-2.
Well, he also brings this personality and edge that the Diamondbacks said they needed.
He is edgy. And I mean that in a good way. Strikes out swinging here. 2 down. 3 straight Eovaldi strikeouts.
Now, Eovaldi's not living on the edge. He's just going right after the Diamondbacks. Former president likes it. Here's a split finger. It looks like a strike, and he just can't sit on it. You cannot sit on a split-fingered fastball.
That's why you think it shouldn't be allowed in the game. So 2 down, and here's Gurriel. Gurriel takes the curve for strike 1. Gurriel's the guy in this lineup with the most experience and the most success head-to-head against Eovaldi. So we've seen him a bunch. And he's typically done well. He took a good cut there, but fouled it away.
Basically, Yordan Alvarez has complete ownership of Nathan Eovaldi, and Gurriel has him for the weekend. So he's like,
Gurriel, not quite those Alvarez numbers. High fastball, well located by Eovaldi. And Gurriel, maybe that's part of the reason why he's hit him. If you can fight that pitch off and live to see something else. Down, nobody on. Gurriel strikes out swinging on the big curve. And Nate Eovaldi strikes out the side. 6 up, 6 down for the Rangers right-hander. Midway through 2, it's 2-0 Texas. Been kind in these playoffs. You go back to game 1 of the NLCS against the Phillies. Schwarber home run. Bryce Harper, what, 2 minutes later, home run. Citizens Bank Park was just going crazy. Set the tone for those first 2 games. And maybe, Spilly, it's good news for Gallen that the first inning is over here tonight. He gave up 2 runs against the Rangers after the first. All playoffs long, he's been a whole lot better.
Well, and it could be just getting that adrenaline boost in the postseason that he hasn't been able to control. Even looking at his 4-seam fastball, it was up 2 miles an hour average fastball velocity in the first inning. Also led to a little bit less spin, so he wasn't quite spinning it the same way that he's accustomed to. We'll see if this happens in the second inning of work.
The all-star catcher Jonah Heim takes strike 1. Fastball at the knees from Gallen as we start the bottom of the second. Heim, who's a switch hitter, batted left-handed against the D-backs righty. 95 runs batted in with Gold Glove defense at the catcher spot. That's a good player.
Well, Oakland A's are probably second-guessing several of the moves that they've made over the last couple of years, and here's another one in Jonah Heim.
Yeah, it was not nearly the. They traded a big-name player, Sean Murphy, another good catcher. The Jonah Heim trade didn't make any kind of headlines, and it's turned into a really important transaction that helped get this whole thing turned around for the Rangers. You don't have to tell Bruce Bochy how important a good catcher is. On the ground to second. Marte throws out Heim. Out number 1. So for Gallen, just trying to stabilize here. Maybe get into a rhythm and get the Diamondbacks deeper into this game. We know the Diamondbacks can come from behind. They've done it over and over again in these playoffs. Here's Nathaniel Lowe. Part of the reason why Evan Carter, we talked about him in the 3 spot. Part of the reason why Carter is hitting third is Nathaniel Lowe isn't. For most of the year, he was the 3rd place hitter for this team.
He's a Silver Slugger a year ago. He went through an abysmal slump towards the end of the season, and maybe there are some things off the field weighing on him. His mother has been fighting brain cancer. His brother's also in the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Fantastic player, Josh.
2. Sometimes Nathaniel Lowe, I think a lot of his teammates would call him Nate. His mom, though, wants Nathaniel. So we're going with mom. Nathaniel Lowe. Behind of the count 1-2. He takes that one off the plate inside. Since he came to the Rangers, he's piled up hits. He's hit a lot of home runs. He's been a really productive player.
He's been a good defender. When he's right, he's driving the ball opposite field.
That one on the ground, softly hit to second. Marte, 2 down.
Much better command for Zach Gallen, second time in the second inning, and we know in the course of the year, 231 batting average first time through the lineup, then it drops down to 218. So he has a history of settling into the game, getting his best stuff, working the corners.
Another talented young guy, Josh Young, right-handed hitter. He's got power, really good defensive third baseman. Takes a strike. Just to follow up on the point about Gallen maybe settling in here. The Diamondbacks had the 3rd most come from behind wins of any team in baseball all year. So they're good at it. They don't panic. Young asks for time, steps out. It's quickly 0-2.
Well, Young had a breakout game, hit 2 home runs in the postseason. There was 2 rookies this postseason that had 2 homers. It was Josh and Royce Lewis of the Minnesota Twins.
0-2. Goes that one foul. If he hadn't gotten hurt his thumb in the middle of the year, Josh Young probably was going to be the American League Rookie of the Year.
It's pretty amazing when you think you have a Rookie of the Year, and he probably would have hit close to 25, maybe 30 home runs in 2 extra months. He's hitting 8th. He's hitting 8th.
Yeah. Rangers lineup is deep. It's not a coincidence they led the American League as a team in almost every important offensive category. Strike 3 swinging on a good curveball from Zach Gallen. So that was much more Gallen-like in the second inning. He retires the Rangers 1-2-3. We'll go to the 3rd in Arlington. Game 1 of this 2023 World Series.
He turns into Nate the Great. He's 4-0 this postseason. Why? Because the stuff's electric. Split finger's been untouchable. Fastball, curveball, and the occasional mix of the high fastball has just been so hard to hit. Today he has 4 strikeouts, including 4 consecutive. There's the 2 splitters at the bottom of the strike zone, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that caught Christian Walker looking, and then a curveball just for fun to punch out Lourdes Gurriel to end the second inning.
Diamondbacks better hope that something changes, because right now Nathan Eovaldi looks like a guy who's not going to give up much tonight. Thomas leading off for the D-backs here in the 3rd, and the young center fielder takes strike 1.
Alek Thomas grew up at the baseball field. His father was a strength and conditioning coach with the White Sox.
That one is hit foul down the 3rd base side. It's 0-2.
So during batting practice, Alek Thomas as a young player would go and shag fly balls. Eventually he was better than some of the big league outfielders with the Chicago White Sox. The problem that Thomas had was his leg kick. His leg kick was inconsistent as a hitter.
And he's starting to make some real progress. He has had a nice postseason for the D-backs. He's hit 4 home runs. That one a big chopper over the mound. This is going to be a tough play. Seager bare hand, and he makes no throw. So Alek Thomas didn't hit it hard, but uses his speed. And there's your first base runner of the World Series for the D-backs.
Well, he'll take it. They just put the ball in play. Call that a Baltimore chop. And for Thomas, he was sent down to the minor leagues to eliminate the leg kick, and he couldn't do it. He just has his timing down a little bit better.
So now we'll see. The Rangers are like the Diamondbacks, not easy to run against Texas, but Thomas has a lot of speed. He is a threat to go. Evan Longoria, first pitch swinging, ground ball base hit into right center field. Thomas around second, he'll stop. And the power, the threat of the strong arm of Adolis Garcia. I think against most players, Thomas is headed to third.
You don't want to run the risk. It's a cardinal sin if you make the first or third out at third base. And for Longo, this is the first World Series since 2008. So it's great to see Longoria. But you're right. I mean, this is the type of play where if you're a base runner, you get thrown out at third base, you kind of duck your head and you go into the dugout and your teammates say, "What are you doing?"
You go over the last 3 years, Spilly. Now Perdomo bunts. He likes to bunt with 2 on and nobody out. Evaldi will make the play to first. The Diamondbacks kind of an old school sort of team. They'll use the bunt. They'll use some little ball. They move both runners up. They got a chance to get this game tied with a hit now.
The only scenario in baseball where a bunt works, first and second, nobody out, actually increases the likelihood that you'll score a run. It's the only scenario where giving up the out increases your chances of scoring. Textbook from Perdomo.
The last 2 years, nobody in baseball's had more of those than Geraldo Perdomo. He's good at it. So now Corbin Carroll, 2 on, 1 out, and Carroll swings through a high cutter at 92 miles an hour, strike 1.
This is where you cannot have an empty at bat. You have to put a ball in play, get a run. Infield's back.
Rangers are giving it to you if you put the ball on the ground, unless you hit it right back to Evaldi. That one's in there for a called strike 2.
Now that is a tough miss for Corbin Carroll. That was right at the top of the strike zone, most likely not a strike.
Huge call. Instead of 1-1, it's 0-2. Now we'll see if Carroll gets the splitter from Evaldi. Carroll, line drive into left center field, and that's going to get down, and it's going to get by Taveras. That'll roll all the way to the wall. It'll score 2 runs to tie the game. Corbin Carroll racing around to third, and he's in there standing with a triple in an 0-2 count. Just hit a bullet into left center field, and a great defensive center fielder could not make the play and couldn't keep it from going all the way to the wall.
Snakes alive, and this is what Corbin Carroll can do. You see the ball off the bat, it's a split finger down. When he hits the baseball, you just assume it's not going to be hit as hard as he hits it. It's 106 miles an hour off the bat, coming off a small frame. Taveras in center is an exceptional center fielder. Now he's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, so for him to get burned like that kind of shows you how hard Carroll hit it with 2 strikes.
Taveras got caught in between and then had no chance to knock it down. The guy who led the National League with 10 triples in the regular season has a triple in the World Series. And how about the Diamondbacks? Down 2-0, nothing going right. Bottom of the order sets the table, and now Corbin Carroll has tied the game. Visit to the mound. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, came out. And you get an at bat where Ketel Marte can put the D-backs ahead. And same situation, infield is back almost all the way around. It's ball 1. The curveball misses high.
What a change of events. You have an 0-2 count, split finger, ripped into left center, and you have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs.
Now Marte went around like he was going to bunt. I don't know what that hit. I guess
it sounded strange. It almost sounded like a foul ball.
It really almost did. I guess because it hit both Heim and the umpire. You get those double clicks. It was just a ball.
Well, and Heim's lucky it ended up hitting the umpire, otherwise it would have gone to the backstop.
That's a break for the Rangers. That was a run. Now Marte swings over top the splitter, and he's unhappy. In a 2-0 count, he chased.
Marte has a hit in 16 consecutive postseason games.
0 for 1 so far in this one. Diamondbacks trying to go ahead here in the third. Marte outside. Three and one. You wonder how aggressive Evaldi wants to be against the guy who's been the best hitter for the D-backs. Marte on the ground hard, coming home Carroll. Here comes a throw, and he's safe. Heim arguing that he got him with the tag, but called safe at home plate. So the Rangers are going to take a look at this one. As of right now, the Diamondbacks have gone ahead.
I think to my eye, he looked like he's out. Will Venable says he's safe.
That's just pure speed and athleticism from Carroll, because the throw was there. And Heim had to play it in his glove. It's almost like his gloves, Billy, hit the dirt.
A lot of things going on. First off, Corbin Carroll, you're doing the exact right play. If he was to try to maneuver around Jonah Heim, he'd probably give himself too much space and could get tagged out. He went straight through home plate.
And now a first pitch swing from the third place hitter Moreno, fouled away. 3 runs are in here in the third. It took Corbin Carroll to get from third to home 3.29 seconds. I mean, that is cooking. I don't think there's any question. The most dynamic, the best base runner in the game right now is the guy who just scored that run. Not many who are going to get home on that play. It was not a terrible throw from Nathaniel Lowe.
On Dave, this Diamondbacks team, they put the fun in fundamental. I mean, how this inning, Alek Thomas 2-strike, put the ball in play. Longo hitting behind.
Yep, using the open hole with the first baseman holding the runner on. That second baseman pinched in a little bit. Longoria got the hit. Sacrifice bunt moves the runners over. 0-2 hit from Carroll, and then Marte puts the ball in play and use your fastest guy to score the go-ahead run.
It's fun.
Demental. That one is fouled off to the right. 1-2. Pretty impressive inning for the D-backs.
Gives you an idea. The Diamondbacks were in first place of the National League West for nearly 2 months. So even though their overall record was not a 90-win team, this is more than a capable team of winning ball games.
Marte runs. Moreno strikes out swinging. Throw high, and Ketel Marte steals second base. And maybe you're figuring the splitter's coming. Good pitch to run on. So even though Moreno strikes out, Marte gets himself into scoring position.
Well, at first base, Dave McKay is arguably the best first base coach in baseball. And Ketel had 8 stolen bases on the season, but Dave knows when to push his guys. Perfect scenario to do it.
17th steal of the playoffs for the Diamondbacks. Ball 1 to Christian Walker. There's Dave McKay, the guy you were just talking about.
Now they are 17 out of 20. That's an 85% success rate.
They run more than anybody, essentially, and they're more successful than anybody. That's a good combo. 1-1 to Walker. Well, this would be a spot for Christian Walker. Diamondbacks circling him as a guy they need to get going. Chance to make this a 4-run inning against Eovaldi and the Rangers. Walker took that fastball right down the middle to strike out his first time up. He lashes at that one, a fastball, and fouled it away.
So believe it or not, you foul a ball down the right field line, you are closer to being on time than if you pull a ball foul. And the reason why is you're now giving yourself a better chance to hit not only a fastball to right field, but now you can hit the off-speed pitches if it's out over the plate.
3 runs in for the D-backs. Runner at second, 2 down. And the 1-2 pitch. Off the outside at 97 miles an hour. In the wild card series in the DS, 7 for 10. NLCS games 1 through 5 very quiet, but the last couple games against the Phillies 8 for 8, and now they have their first steal of this World Series. They were just running wild on the Phillies. Full count with the curve, 3-2.
That's a good take for Christian Walker, and Eovaldi's trying to figure out, can I throw that fastball again? I froze him last time. Do I go to the split finger? Do I trust myself?
Much higher effort inning for Nate Eovaldi. That was pitch number 50 in this game. 3-2 to Walker. He strikes out swinging. He got him with the splitter. So 6 strikeouts in 3 innings for Eovaldi, but for the Diamondbacks, 3 runs. The fundamental baseball that Spilly was talking about, and then, oh yeah, one of the great young superstars in the game to cash it in with a 2-run triple. Corbin Carroll and the D-backs now ahead 3-2. Well, we saw a rare, it might even be too strong to call it a misplay by Adolis Garcia in center field. What a defensive outfielder he is. Incredible catch in Game 3 of the ALCS against Houston. Really a must-win game. And Adolis Garcia tonight, this was the play we're just talking about. Corbin Carroll, a line drive that I think he just hit it so hard it fooled Tavares.
It ended up being 110 miles an hour off the bat. The low liner for a center fielder is a really tough ball to judge.
You don't see that look on his face very often of like, huh? What just happened? And Tavares now hits for the first time in this World Series. He's the 9th place hitter. He takes a perfect fastball from Zach Gallen, whose location in the 2nd inning was much better than in the 1st. And now Gallen pitching with a lead for the first time. It's 3-2 D-backs. Tavares waves at that one. It's 0-2.
The pitch that stood out in the 2nd inning as Gallen settled in was a changeup. He started landing his changeup. I think he was just overthrowing his knuckle curve, which is his best secondary pitch. And with the way the Texas Rangers were kind of swinging at his fastball and then not worried about the curveball, the changeup had to come into play.
In the dirt there. A long way to go in this game, but in the 1st inning, it did not look like Zach Gallen was going to last long here tonight.
No. This is kind of the key inning for Gallen because you do get to the top of the lineup of the Rangers.
That's a big hitter. This is high with a fastball, 2-2. The Texas just put so much pressure on you with the bottom of the order because Semien and Seager and Carter and Garcia are so good. Got him. So he went with the off-speed pitch, the changeup at 88 for strike 3.
That's turning into a weapon right now for Zach Gallen. So back-to-back strikeouts for Zach. And that has to feel good. I mean, you were on the ropes in the 1st inning, and now he's settling in. You want a shutdown inning if you're the Diamondbacks. You score 3, you take the lead. You want this to be a shutdown.
A little umpire cam look for strike 3. Here's Marcus Semien. He takes a strike from Gallen. Semien 0 for 1. He's had a quiet playoffs. Popped up behind first. Kind of into no man's land. Christian Walker, I think for a minute he might have even lost it. Corbin Carroll just had too far to go.
I feel like Corbin Carroll lost it too. This Globe Life Field is a monster of a stadium. It is huge, and it has this retractable roof where you can lose the baseball in the rafters.
I'm not so sure that didn't happen there. At least for a brief moment. You don't know how much the roof weighs, Spilly?
Is there a joke here?
No. I have a literal number for you. 24 million pounds.
Come on.
That's a big roof. This will be 2 ballparks with the retractable roof features, both here in Arizona in this World Series. Strike 3 swinging. So Semien's struggles continue. Zach Gallen gets his 3rd straight strikeout.
And another changeup. He's starting to pull the string on the Rangers, which is important. He landed a first pitch curveball, then he went fastball upstairs a couple times, and then he throws the changeup, and it's a true circle change.
Seager just off the plate inside. Ball 1.
Well, the lead has taken the fans out of this game. Like a little bit of the air has been let out. And you can tell just by watching Zach Gallen breathe, he's under control now.
Seager started the 2-run rally in the 1st inning with a walk. Swings and misses here. That changeup. He's gotten Zach Gallen. You talked about how he's got the feel for that pitch. He's already got 5 outs with the changeup. We're only in the third inning. Seager takes low, took it that time. 2-1.
There's Brent Strom. Strom is the architect of this pitching staff.
Yeah, fiery personality, veteran pitching coach. Came here to Arizona before last season and has really turned the whole pitching program around, including helping Zach Gallen become one of the best in the game. 3-1 to Seager. That is ball 4. So Seager 2 times up, and he's walked twice. Guy who, outside of Shohei Ohtani, maybe even just as a pure hitter, including Ohtani, the best hitter in the American League, and Gallen's been reluctant to challenge him. Gallen 17 wins, top 10 earned run average. Only Logan Webb had more innings pitched this year than Gallen. Strike to Carter.
Gallen was 11-3 pre-All-Star break, so 19 starts, 11-3, low ERA, low batting average. The second half he was 8-8.
That's a ball. Carter didn't look rattled by the World Series stage in his first at bat, did he?
I don't even think he knows where I mean, he just turned 21 at the end of August.
You and I talked to him in the clubhouse before the game. It was like, yeah, I'm having fun. This is pretty cool, isn't it? Bounces that one, and nobody's there at third. He beats the shift. Seager's going to go toward third. The throw is late, and that allows Carter to go to second. So that extra 90 feet takes away the force out at second, moves a second runner into scoring position. Just a ground ball, but it turns into a real hustle double.
Well, big mistake from Gurriel, left field. Nice piece of hitting just based on the result for Evan Carter. He's beat by the fastball. But Gurriel, you have to go to second base. There's no reason. You can't even make that play. Even Perdomo, notice he's pointing to second. But if you get into a plus side count, they might just walk Garcia.
Yeah, they might. First base is open. Garcia, big cut on the first pitch. That was a firm changeup from Zach Gallen. Strike 1.
Now, how about this inning, Dave? Quickly 2 outs. Then you get Corey, works a walk. It's hard to walk Corey Seager. And then that nice single from Carter.
Well, Garcia has a chance to put the Rangers back ahead. In the early innings, game 1 of this World Series. Fastball for a ball. It's 1-1. And it was a curveball, was it not, that Adolis Garcia hit for the base hit in the first?
3-1 knuckle curve.
The 1-1. High and tight, not close, and Rangers fans unhappy. They're already a little sensitive about Adolis Garcia getting hit by a pitch. Wasn't that close.
No, but that's where you have to pitch Garcia, up and in.
2-1. Called a strike. 2-2.
You do not have to throw Garcia a strike in the next 2 pitches. He does not have a walk. He will expand the strike zone. So you do not have to be perfect if you're down.
Not time. From the umpire cam. High and tight. You can understand why a hitter doesn't like that. 95 miles an hour. Big moment here, still early in this game. 2-2. Garcia took the curve. Full count, 3-2.
Based on the takes Garcia has right now, my assumption is he's seeing the ball big.
Mitch Garver would be next. 2 on, 2 out, 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4. So Garcia, he took the changeup low. I think you're right. He's seeing the ball real well. The bases are loaded for a guy who's already had a bases loaded big spot in the playoffs, Mitch Garver. This was in the division series against the Orioles, game 2, early. Bases loaded, Mitch Garver, grand slam.
That left field now is Baltimore. They call it Baltimore. Hitting it out to that part of the stadium where Cameron Yards used to be short. Now you have to juice one to get it out.
Well, this guy's got power. Mitch Garver, at times in his career, has had a hard time staying healthy. He's a catcher by trade, but with Jonah Heim, he's basically just become, in these playoffs, a DH. Huge moment here in the third. Bases loaded. Garver fouls the first pitch fastball right back to the screen.
A regular season, postseason for Garver, even though he's a .207 career hitter with the bases loaded, is in 300. He's 3 for 10 with 10 RBIs on this season.
Been a run producer in the playoffs for the Rangers. Takes that one off the plate inside. Change up for a ball. He got nowhere to put him. If he walks, the game's tied. And he get Jonah Heim up there with the bases still loaded.
Most important pitch of the sequence. You can flip a batting average from 340 down to 160 with the strike.
The 1-1. That one is a ball. So now the hitter has the edge. It's 2-1.
And he'll have the edge pretty much for the rest of this at bat, just based on there's no more margin for error.
This all started with 2 down and nobody on. That one not close. 3-1. Seager drew the walk. Evan Carter, the opposite field hustle double, and then Garcia the walk.
Certainly escalated quickly for Zach Gallen.
(3-1). Garver takes a strike. A high curveball. 3-2.
All sorts of guts to throw a 3-2, 3-1 curveball. Are you willing to go 3-2? Any takers?
If you throw a 3-1, you have to be, right? 3-2. Foul back. He went back with the fastball at 96. Zach Gallen in his big league career, regular season, postseason, never given up a grand slam.
No, it's 67 pitches for Gallen, but it has been high stress.
Another 3-2 pitch. Garver fouls it back again. Another fastball.
You can tell by the reaction in his body language. He's grinding right now.
Well, when you thought this might be a quick 1-2-3 inning. Anything but the Rangers still have not scored here in the bottom of the third. 8th pitch of the at-bat, and it's ball 4. He's walked in a run. What a job by Mitch Garver. That's a walk that'll get the fans pumped up. It ties the game 3-3. Third walk of the inning, and another mound visit from the pitching coach.
We love these type of matchups. Bases loaded, there's no wiggle room. As a hitter, you just force a pitcher to throw a strike. Quickly falls behind 2-1. That was the 1-1 count that you needed it. Then he throws a 3-2 curveball, 3-1 curveball, 3-2 fastball. A couple fastballs fouled straight back. He said, you know what? Maybe I can get him to chase. Does not chase on the changeup. 3-2. What an at bat!
I know there were a lot of good pitches in that sequence. And Mitch Garver earned that bases loaded walk. So Brent Strom maybe also just trying to give his guy a little breather after that battle. Because now you got to lock in again. Bases loaded still for the switch hitter Jonah Heim.
Jonah Heim has the highest batting average in the American League during the regular season with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
First pitch, Heim out in front on the changeup, hits a foul ball. This already, Spilly, matches the most walks in a game all year for Zach Gallen. He's walked 4, 3 in this inning. Trying to somehow get through the third with the game tied. 0-1. Heim to center field, not deep. Thomas is there, and that is out number 3. It was hard to get, but Zach Gallen finally did get it. 1 run after all that for the Rangers on the bases loaded walk. They've tied the game.
Well, we're all tied up in Texas, and Nathan Eovaldi through the first 2 innings was fantastic. 3 up, 3 down, including striking out the side in the second inning. But the third inning, the Diamondbacks came to play. It was a leadoff single from Alek Thomas, and then they strung some at-bats together. 7 batters, 3 hits, 3 runs. They did. They put the fun in fundamental.
If you like action, this may be the World Series for you. It has not been a boring 3 innings on either side. So here we go to the 4th. Tommy Pham against Eovaldi. First pitch, curveball, misses outside for ball 1. Tommy Pham, another one of those Diamondbacks who just is not often going to chase. He has not had many hits in the playoffs. He's had 2 home runs, though. He rips that one to deep left field, and it is gone off the facing of the second deck. Tommy Pham, and he puts the Diamondbacks right back ahead 4-3. He did not miss that one.
Now you get a fastball and you're looking for it early, and in this case it's the split finger from Eovaldi. It just sits there 88 miles an hour. It works as a BP fastball, and Tommy says bon nuit to that fastball. Man, that ball got out in a hurry.
I've always thought Tommy Pham, great BP fastball hitter. He crushed that one. So the Diamondbacks with 1 swing. That's not the team you expect the home run's going to be their #1 weapon. But Tommy Pham with the first home run of this World Series. It's 4-3 Arizona. And Lourdes Gurriel, who's got some success against Eovaldi, now behind in the count 0-2.
That just was a split finger that stayed flat.
419 feet from Tommy Pham. No doubt about that one. 0-2 to Gurriel. On the ground to short. Nice hop for Corey Seager. 1 away.
Well, and how about for Eovaldi? He just does not give up the long ball to right-handed hitters. That's only the 2nd time in his postseason run that a right-hander's got him.
It's the 3rd career home run, though, for Tommy Pham against Eovaldi. Here's Alek Thomas. He got the 3-run rally in the 3rd inning going with something much more modest than a home run, just a little infield hit. So we've seen power, we've seen speed, we've seen the bunt game, a little bit of everything for the D-backs in the first 4 innings. Curveball outside, 1-0. Got close. Ball 2.
Well, over the course of the season, Alek Thomas, his sprint speed on average to first was near the top. It's right around 28.8 feet per second. But in the postseason, he ran a little bit faster.
You saw that graphic. The average runner, that is not Alek Thomas. He is one of the fastest guys in the league. And once it got over Eovaldi, there was no play to be made. 2 2-1. Now it's 2-2. Average guy, and then there's Alek Thomas.
He would have beat him by about 2 strides. Thomas was almost considering being a defensive back playing football.
He's built like that. Fouls away the high fastball.
As you're watching a lot of actions around a major league field, you'll notice soccer skill set, especially with middle infielders. You'll notice football skill set with center fielders. Other sports always come into play.
Alek Thomas would have been a great punt returner. That one, another little dribble. Low, flips with the glove to Eovaldi covering. 2 down. It almost worked for a second time. Two outs.
A little bit off the end of the bat, but Thomas almost beat Eovaldi to first base. And there's Nathaniel being creative.
Takes a little confidence to do that. I think he did have time to make the transition if he wanted to. A little cooler to just flip with the glove. So 2 down for the 8th place hitter, Evan Longoria. He takes a curve for a strike. I mean, it is pretty amazing, I think. Longo was a rookie in 2008, 23 years old. He carried the Tampa Bay Rays in the League Championship Series. They beat the Red Sox to get to the World Series. And then he struggled. And I think he's always thought about that. 15 years between World Series appearances. A guy who's got a Hall of Fame kind of resume. He's got a chance to be a Hall of Fame player when it's all said and done.
He's awfully close to it. He was a 3rd overall pick in 2006 by the Tampa Bay Rays.
I think he's still the greatest player in Rays history. He's on the top of a lot of those Rays career leaderboards.
My favorite is if you land in Tampa Bay, there's a Duckies in the airport, which he's an owner of this restaurant in an airport.
Okay. Curve taken for a ball. 15 years or more between World Series appearances. Not many in the history of the game. Babe Adams, Jim Cott, El Presidente, Dennis Martinez, and Longo. First non-pitcher to go that long and finally get back. And he wants that ring. He gets rung up here by the home plate umpire on a very borderline call. But DJ Rayburn thought it was a strike. So Eovaldi gets the strikeout, but he gives up the home run. Tommy Pham puts the D-backs back in front midway through 4 in Arlington, Texas. The Diamondbacks using the long ball. They now lead the Rangers 4-3. Who finished the game on the mound for the Kansas City Royals? The veteran right-hander Chris Young. He wasn't throwing that hard. He never really was a power pitcher. He had a great big league career. He helped the Royals win that game, win that World Series, and now he's the guy in charge of building this Texas Rangers team, the executive VP, general manager. There's Chris Young. He deserves a lot of credit for helping get the Rangers to this World Series.
Well, we know he's smart. He went to Princeton. He's 6'10", right-handed pitcher, and he also has an associate manager with Will Venable. Both guys, Venable and CY, they know how to run the Princeton offense. They played basketball at Princeton as well.
Yeah, Mike Hazen, who built the Diamondbacks, went to Princeton, but he was a baseball player. So the Princeton offense may be lost on Mike Hazen, but a very Princeton feel to this World Series, which we don't say that all that often. Chris Young's team now behind by a run. Rangers were ahead 2-0. Then the Diamondbacks went ahead 3-2. Texas tied it. Now Arizona back in front. Zach Gallen has had a stressful first few innings. Nathaniel Lowe into shallow left center. Kind of a late break for Gurriel, but he gets there. Now number 1, both guys in their mid-40s, Mike Hazen and Chris Young. Hazen's been in charge in Arizona for a little longer than Chris, who was part of MLB's commissioner's office for a while, then got hired here, took over the last couple of years in charge fully, helped make some of the big moves that got the Rangers turned around.
He made a lot of them.
Both guys have done a really good job in their respective positions. Ball 1 to Josh Young. been a mix of free agent signings, some savvy trades, but also development, player development for the Rangers. Josh Young takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Well, DJ Rayburn, the home plate umpire tonight, it's been a little bit, a little big on the outside portion of the plate.
Yeah, he was behind the plate for a division series game, and he was tight in that one. It's a bigger strike zone here tonight. There's Mike Hazen, one of the most, I think, well-liked people in the sport. He and Torey Lovullo knew each other going back to the Red Sox days. There's been a slow, steady build in Arizona. That's a line drive base hit against a guy that Hazen acquired, Zach Gallen. Josh Young with a one-out single for the Rangers here in the fourth.
I'll see how long the leash is for Zach Gallen as he's coming up to a third time through the lineup. Joe Manaply was warming up at the end of last inning.
And almost half the Rangers hitters who've come up against Zach Gallen in these first 4 innings have reached base safely against him. There's the ninth place hitter, Leody Taveras.
Down.
Takes low, ball one. Taveras struck out in his first at bat. Rangers put all that pressure on Gallen last inning. Only got the one. At the top of the order lined up after Taveras here now. And Gallen's going to pay attention. You don't circle Josh Young as the guy you really expect to be activating the running game.
Well, he had one stolen base on the season, was caught 3 times.
Not going here. Taveras fouls the high fastball back. Snipped his bat. He thought,
Yeah. When you foul ball really well, you can smell it. The rawhide, it smells burnt.
Like the wood got burned by the ball. Strike 2. Change up, called a strike.
There's back to the changeup. He's using it. And there's again the liberal outside edge, both sides of the plate.
Got him. Taveras chased. He strikes out for the second time in this game. That's out number 2.
Well, that's now 4 strikeouts for Zach Gallen. There's a knuckle curve. It looks like a strike. Bottom falls out of it, but you also have Taveras is chasing some pitches.
Looks a little over anxious at the plate to start this World Series. I don't know that that's exactly the issue with this guy, Marcus Semien, one of the great players in the game, but he is in a funk offensively. Swings over top that curveball. Very modest numbers for the Iron Man of baseball these days.
And you wonder too if being an Iron Man slows you down in the postseason.
I think it's a fair question. Marcus Semien would dispute that. I mean, he feels like it's a big part of his game to be in there every single day, but he literally is.
Well, he did get congratulations during the American League Championship Series. His family welcomed in their 4th child.
It's been a great month overall for Marcus, despite the struggles at the plate. Last 45 years, 4th player to lead the league in games played for 4 straight full seasons. Throw out that 2020 year. Juan Pierre, Cal Ripken Jr., and Dale Murphy. And now Marcus Semien. 2-1. Pulls that one foul. In front on the changeup.
Now, Semien is a true pull hitter. So he's looking. His field is basically from second base to the left field line.
As you can tell, Marte shaded way up the middle from second. Runner at first, 2 down. 2-2. Semien pulls that one to deep left center. Gurriel chasing. Gurriel will get there and make the catch on the warning track. Not quite enough this time for Marcus Semien. Close, but nothing to show for it. 1 hit, no runs against Gallen. And well, it was 12 years ago tonight, one of the true great games in the history of the World Series, except for Texas Rangers fans. David Freese down to their last strike. The Cardinals were 1 strike away from losing the World Series. And he tied the game with a triple in extra innings. He walked it off with a home run. And wouldn't you know, 12 years to the day, that was the last time until tonight Corbin Carroll, a game-tying or go-ahead triple in a World Series game. Now look,
we're not in Texas. We're the international feed, so we're allowed to lay it on pretty thick. And
a little different stakes in terms of where it was in the World Series. But Corbin Carroll did that tonight for the Diamondbacks, who now lead. They were down 2-0 in this game against Eovaldi and the Rangers. We're in the 5th. Corbin Carroll's on deck. Strike 1 to the 9th place hitter, Geraldo Perdomo. He put down a successful sacrifice bunt his first time up. Now it's 1-1.
Well, this is that part of the game where now you start looking at both bullpens. They want to get their starters through 6. That means Eovaldi has 6 more outs to get, and he's already at 70 pitches.
That one is lined into center field. Perdomo continues to swing the bat well. 9th place hitter has been a real contributor. That's a leadoff hit for Perdomo.
Both teams, the bottom of their lineups have been very productive this postseason, and for Perdomo, an all-star, he came back, and there's a lot of players in the Diamondbacks clubhouse. I'll tell you, leader of the Diamondbacks, it's Perdomo. And when he came back from the all-star game in Seattle, he just had a swagger.
That looks like swagger to me. Of course, it helps when you're 8 for your last 16 at the plate. You feel pretty good. You're going to pay attention to Perdomo. He's not, he can steal a base. He's not blazing fast. Not like the guy at the plate is.
Perdomo did have 16 stolen bases. The Diamondbacks were 2nd in baseball in stolen bases. But to your point, I mean, Corbin Carroll had 54 stolen bases with 25 home runs.
And he's at the plate here now after that triple we just talked about. A pitch out. You know, those are almost extinct in baseball these days. I don't know when the last time I saw an actual true pitch out was. And the Rangers called for one.
It might have been 2011. Who knows? Well, Jonah Heim tries to backpedal. And part of this is because they're trying to give Jonah Heim a chance to catch a base stealer.
Also, it makes you wonder, here's an actual pitch for a ball. Maybe the Rangers thought they had seen something. Maybe they thought they had a little tell.
Oh, from Dave McKay at first? Maybe.
Maybe. You just don't really see the pitch out very often at all. And now Eovaldi, partly because of that, is behind in the count 2-0 to a great hitter. And now it's 3-0. That was not close. It's almost like he got him out of whack. When's the last time Eovaldi threw a pitch out?
Maybe in spring training during pitcher fielding practice.
Mike Maddox is going to get the bullpen going. He looked totally dominant at the start of this game. Carroll takes a strike.
Well, they have Carroll listed at 5'10", 160 pounds. He's a first rounder for the Diamondbacks out of Seattle, Washington. You watch him, and the ball, the way it jumps off his bat makes no sense.
There goes Perdomo, swing and a miss. The throw late, and he steals second base. Second steal of the game for the Diamondbacks.
Now Jonah Heim's getting a little bit frustrated just because over the course of this year he had the 3rd most caught stealings in baseball. And this postseason it's been exposed a little bit. A lot of it has to do with pitchers trying.
3-0 to 3-2. Now Carroll is going to ask for time. While Perdomo stole that bag. We got a great sort of that hot lead. Running start. Diamondbacks like to do that. Nobody out. Runner in scoring position. And a 3-2 pitch. Carroll strikes out swinging. He got him with the fastball. It's a big out. especially after falling behind 3-0.
It is a big out, and for Carroll, you put a ball in play, you could have another productive out. His last at bat, he hit the split finger, down 2 strikes for the triple.
So 1 out. Eovaldi's starting to pile up the strikeouts. Ketel Marte takes ball 1 down and in.
Well, he's up to 8 strikeouts, but it's coming at a cost to his pitch count.
Right-hander Dane Dunning, he's the guy that the Rangers got up in the bullpen. We saw Mike Maddox jump on the phone. Ketel Marte, MVP of the National League Championship Series. Chance to add to this 1-run Diamondbacks lead here. Runner at second, Perdomo, with only 1 out. Pitch clock that time was winding down. Eovaldi, who likes to typically pitch with a pretty good pace and clip. You see him take a deep breath there. Maybe what you were talking about, the cost of those strikeouts, a lot of deep counts. He might be feeling a little fatigued.
Yeah, and this is what you'll see, especially when you have runners in scoring position. You can force a hitter to stay in the box for close to 20 seconds, and you can catch your breath.
1 off the plate inside. I think as the year went on, Spilly, pitchers did get better at using the full clock. Early in the year, we saw a lot of pitchers almost like they were just rushing every pitch. 2-1. Marte hammers that one to center field. Taveras chasing. He's not going to get it. It's off the bottom of the wall. Around third, Perdomo. He will score. Ketel Marte hitting and hitting with power. A double to make it 5-3 Diamondbacks.
Well, they call it a Marte parte, and in the postseason, he turns into not just a party favorite, but a postseason legend. This is now 17 consecutive postseason games with a hit, or reaching safely. And this double, I mean, it splits the gap. That's a big, deep part of Globe Life Field.
Wow, Ketel Marte, 5-3 Arizona. Curveball outside to Gabby Moreno. Longest postseason hit streak in the history of the game. Ketel Marte, Hank Bauer, Derek Jeter, Manny Ramirez. And he's only played in 17 career playoff games. He's had a hit in all of them. Moreno 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. Diamondbacks still only 1 out here. Marte in scoring position. Moreno's had a lot of big hits in these playoffs for Arizona. It's that one foul off to the right, out of play.
It was a pretty amazing trade for Mike Hazen and the Diamondbacks this offseason. They traded for Gabby Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel for Dalton Varsho. And Varsho was a nice find for the Toronto Blue Jays. They wanted that left-handed power bat.
On the ground is short. Marte breaks for third. Seager never even considered going that way. Just takes the out at first. 2 down. Moreno retired. He's 0 for 3. Marte standing at third. Christian Walker. And it does look to me like Nate Eovaldi's going to get at least one more hitter. He struck out Walker both times tonight. Bruce Bochy and Mike Maddox, they lean on their top starters. Ball 1.
I'm sure they were hoping to get close to 18 outs from Eovaldi. They'll be happy if they can get 15. A lot of these managers, they count outs to try to get to some of their leverage relievers.
Drew takes outside, 2-0. There were 13 players this year in the National League who knocked in 100 runs. Christian Walker was one of them. So during the regular season, there weren't many who were better in these kind of spots than Walker. We got Tommy Pham, who homered against Eovaldi, waiting on deck. way outside, not close. I don't think Eovaldi's going to get a chance to face Tommy Pham.
Nope, I don't think so either. So this is his last batter, which if you're the Diamondbacks, you possibly knock out Eovaldi 4 2/3.
Huge. Already 5 runs on the board. 3-0. Walker swinging away, and he fouled it back.
Well, when you're struggling, you want to fire your swing on a pitch that you can handle.
I like it. In the old days, you just didn't see that very much. These days, I think more and more hitters are going to swing 3-0. There's no such thing as a fastball count anymore. Maybe that's it, 3-0. It is low, ball 4. So he went back with the splitter. Walker takes the walk, and here comes the future Hall of Fame manager, Bruce Bochy. Nate Eovaldi does not finish the 5th inning. Rangers already having to go into their bullpen. And I tell you what, Spilly, considering the way the first 2 innings looked, Diamondbacks have to be thrilled.
I just knocked out Nate the Great, 4-0 this postseason.
So he's out of the game. Dane Dunning is coming in. Diamondbacks ahead 5-3. Back right after this. Dunning in game 1 of this World Series out of the Rangers bullpen, and facing Tommy Pham. He spins a breaking ball in there for a called strike. He was a starter for much of the regular season, and he was a good starter for the Rangers for most of the year. In postseason, hasn't been used a whole lot. He's been coming out of the pen. Diamondbacks knock Nate Eovaldi out. Walker runs. Jonah Heim's not going to throw. Walker was trying to get caught in a rundown there, and the Rangers just let him take second base, so he's going to get credit for a steal. 3rd steal of the game for the D-backs.
Diamondbacks are pulling out all the stops right now, seeing if they can steal an additional run with their legs.
Big chopper toward first. Not easy. Low. Got him at first. That's his second good play over at first base that Nathaniel Lowe has made. Dunning was over to cover. Tommy Pham might have stumbled around the bag. And that's a big out for Texas. The Diamondbacks had a chance to open the game up for him. He loved this ballpark even when he was wearing the Dodger blue. Remember 2020, during the pandemic, this was the sort of neutral pandemic site for both the League Championship Series and the World Series. And Corey Seager had a monster playoffs, leading the Dodgers to a World Series championship. He was the MVP of both of those series in this ballpark. Not full capacity crowd. It was an unusual postseason, that's for sure. Signed a huge deal before last season. Last year was kind of a struggle for Corey Seager. Of all these big contracts the Rangers have signed in the last 2 off seasons, but man, did that work out this year. He just has had a great year in Texas. He and his Rangers, though, have work to do. Bottom 5, Zach Gallen still in the game. And the Diamondbacks with a 5-3 lead. Seager's been up twice and he's walked twice. That's Gallen. 1-1.
Well, Seager this season had nearly a 7-win season, which on a normal year, if you didn't play with Shohei Ohtani, would win you an MVP.
Seager just smashes that one, but foul. Postseason career in this ballpark, 17 games, 9 home runs. That'll do.
Well, when they brought him over, they thought this was not going to be an offensive ballpark, just based on how it played the first year it was open. It was hard to hit homers.
It's become much more home run friendly. Seager on the ground to first, and Zach Gallen is retiring for the first time in this game. In fact, this ballpark gave up more home runs this year, home and road teams combined, than any other park in baseball. More than Coors Field, more than anywhere.
Well, the ball does carry out nicely into the gap, so right center is a really nice spot for right-handed hitters, for pull hitters like Corey Seager. But dead center, that's where the big boys hit it. It's a beautiful ballpark. Artificial turf, plays fair. It's not too fast. It's just right.
And Carter out in front. Strike one swinging.
I don't think anybody would have had Zach Gallen outlasting Nathan Eovaldi based on the first inning.
He's got a chance to pitch deeper into this game than Eovaldi did. Eovaldi could not get the final out in the top of this 5th inning. No, the first inning was lopsided and not in the D-backs' favor. Gallen looked out of sorts. Eovaldi looked dominant. Rangers were ahead 2-0.
Well, the pitch that bailed him out, the changeup. He's used it 31% of the time tonight. That's a pitch he throws about 14%.
Yeah, he's found the feel of it, and he's riding it. He's getting a lot of outs with that changeup. The 4 walks are unusual for him. And Eovaldi, 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk, but you see him there shaking his head. Ends up giving up the 5 runs. 1-2. 21-year-old kid, Evan Carter. Only Mickey Mantle, younger, in the 3rd spot in World Series history. His first 2 at-bats, 2 for 2, 2 doubles.
That pitch, that last one, Dave, is the reason why Carter, a lot of people think he has a chance to be a superstar.
Two. Carter strikes out. A curveball got him. So that's the 5th strikeout for Zach Gallen. 2 down, nobody on. Adolis Garcia.
Gallen's used to having close to 10 strikeouts per 9, and during the postseason, it's been closer to about 4. So 5 strikeouts tonight. That's a good sign if you're the Diamondbacks.
It's probably, we don't know for sure, but there's a good chance this will be his last inning. He's almost thrown 100 pitches already in the game. A lot of them under extreme pressure and stress. Got Garcia to chase on that first one. Now he bounces a curve. It's 1-1. Brent Strom, who may forever be remembered for the reaction to a ball in the National League Championship Series. A lot of emotion from a coach. Gallen is hit hard, but right to Perdomo. D-back shortstop makes the play. Zach Gallen has his second 1-2-3 inning of this game 1. He's solidified things, and he and the D-backs through 5 lead 5-3. Dave Fleming, Ryan Spilborghs here in Arlington, Texas. Game 1 of the 119th World Series, and I think you got to be pretty impressed with the Diamondbacks. Long way to go in this game, top of the 6th. But Arizona was down 2-0, and the Rangers were looking like they might roll in game 1. Now it's 5-3 D-backs. It is Gurriel against the 2nd pitcher of the night for Texas, Dane Dunning, who got the final out in the 5th inning. 1-1 to Gurriel. Just kind of squibbed on the ground. Seager got him, 1 away.
Well, Dane Dunning, he's a 6'4" right-hander out of Orange Park, Florida, and really got a chance this year after Jacob deGrom got hurt. He started picking up a lot of innings during the course of the season, and he's kind of the perfect middle reliever for Bruce Bochy because he can get you through the lineup once, maybe up to 12 to 14 batters, which is ideal to give the Rangers a chance to maybe get back into this game.
For a little while at least, he was doing a pretty good Jacob deGrom impersonation. I mean, he dominated when he first took that spot in the rotation. Missed outside with a curve there to Alec Thomas. Thomas, important moment in this game when he led off in the 3rd. Diamondbacks were down. They got their first hit, first base runner against Nate Eovaldi. It was just a little infield hit, just a chopper. But it started the 3-run rally that got the D-backs not just back in the game, but ahead for the first time. 1-1. Thomas. I think the game plan for him will be at some point to hit it a little harder.
But it's working. The swinging bunt works. Well, to your point, Eovaldi retired the first 6 batters, then 7 of the next 16 reached, and they scored.
Got a lefty, Cody Bradford up, ground ball toward the middle. Simeon, great effort, but no chance. That's as good as you could do at second, but Thomas is just too fast. All right, forget what I said. Just keep hitting it like that. He actually hit that one much harder.
Well, this play from Simeon, he was a shortstop by trade. And over the last couple of years, he started in Toronto at second base. Then the Rangers picked him up. The very few players even make that close at first base.
I'm thinking it could be go time for Alek Thomas. You got Evan Longoria. Takes a strike. Again, very generous toward that part of the plate. Longoria might be feeling a little picked on. Last time up, he got called out on a pitch like that. You do have that open right side. Maybe that would be an argument for Thomas to just kind of stay put.
Well, Jonah Heim does steal a lot of strikes. He's really good at the bottom of the strike zone and also gets the edge.
Excellent pitch framer, catcher for the Rangers. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
And I think a big reason why Jonah gets such a large amount of called strikes, he's a big frame catcher. He's 6'4", so his body doesn't move a ton. And as an umpire, when you don't see big movements from the catcher, you tend to lean with what the catcher's catching.
The 1-2. Garcia takes the breaking ball. 2-2. The Diamondbacks, you know, it was interesting. They were getting criticized a little bit in that league championship series. Those first 5 games, they had 1 steal attempt in 5 games. Since then, including tonight, they've been running wild. Throw back. Thomas gets back safely. We asked Bruce Bochy about it before the game, and he said, look, you can't, as a pitcher, you can't overemphasize being quick to the plate, paying attention to the runner at the expense of getting the hitter. But you do have to help your catcher out, give him a chance. 2-2, Longoria into right field, shallow. It's Garcia, 2 down.
So now here comes an old school philosophy with Alek Thomas at first. Traditionally, most managers won't push to steal second base. Why? Because you're at the bottom of the lineup. You want Perdomo to hit, and then you flip the lineup over for this top of the 7th.
Well, we'll see. Might also be a little tougher with that left-hander apparently now going to come into the game. Dane Dunning did a solid job to get 3 outs for Bruce Bochy, but Cody Bradford will be the new pitcher in the 6th when we come back to Arlington. The Diamondbacks in game 1 of this World Series have the 5-3 lead. Left-hander Cody Bradford will come into pitch. 20 regular season appearances, including 8 starts for the Texas Rangers. He pitched 5 2/3 innings in the playoffs. With a runner at first and 2 down, and the 9th place hitter Geraldo Perdomo, switch hitter, who'll bat right-handed now. He goes after the very first pitch and pops it up behind home plate. Jonah Heim will run out of room. It's out of play. Strike 1. Diamondbacks 5, Rangers 3. And Perdomo's been a big part of the offense for Arizona.
He really has. He had a nice sacrifice bunt from Santo Domingo, the Dominican, and he's a gamer. You're watching him go.
Pay attention to Alek Thomas. You know, it's funny too, because I agree with the point you were making about conventional wisdom says 9th place hitter don't risk an out, don't steal. But Perdomo's almost like a second leadoff hitter.
Sure. Well, and you might change up how Bochy goes back out with the next inning.
Right.
Depending if the Rangers take the lead, do you want Bradford back out there, or do you want to go to a plus side reliever? I mean, there's a lot of strategy still involved just to get this out.
Allen misses. Perdomo does take a lot of pitches, and he takes a lot of walks, which is, I think, fairly unusual for a guy who usually is in the 9 spot.
He is a better hitter left-handed than he is a right-handed.
So you don't want to walk him when he's hitting from this side. 2-1. Thomas runs. The pitch taken high. The throw is not nearly in time, and it kicks away, although Seager there to back it up. So the steal for Thomas, the 4th of the game for the Diamondbacks. For the 3rd straight game, the Diamondbacks have stolen 4 bases as a team.
Well, and you can tell by the reaction from Jonah Heim, it feels like it's on him, but it's really not. I mean, Bradford goes with the high leg kick. It was good timing from Thomas. In between hop that Marcus wasn't able to get that tag on him.
3-1. Perdomo takes ball 4. Oh, I beg your pardon. Perdomo thought it was ball 4. He tosses bat aside. He sold me, and it's called a strike.
One of the worst feelings you have as a hitter is feeling like you showed up an umpire, knowing that you have a 3-2 count coming up next.
Pitcher of the night for the Rangers, Cody Bradford. And a full count. Runner in scoring position, 3-2. The pitch. And it's hit on a line to second. Marcus Semien catches it. Out number 3. Perdomo made solid contact, but that Rangers defense perfectly positioned to get the out. Midway through 6 in Game 1 of the World Series. D-backs 5, Rangers 3. Authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Bruce Bochy, 3-time World Series champion manager with the San Francisco Giants. A lot of parades, a lot of trophies, a lot of hugs. Trying to make it 4 championships in this World Series. His first year as the Rangers manager. But he and the Rangers in Game 1 of this World Series, after jumping out ahead, are now behind 5-3. And the Diamondbacks, for the first time tonight, Spilly, are going to their bullpen. It's the right-hander Ryan Thompson.
Well, I love watching Ryan Thompson pitch because he's unorthodox. 6'5" out of Turner, Oregon, and he's a sidearmer, but he's been a sidearm pitcher since high school. He said as a kid he always wanted to throw sidearm. He used to watch Young Kim, former Korean pitcher. He played for the Diamondbacks, famous closer for the Diamondbacks, played some time with the Colorado Rockies, and that was his inspiration.
Just like back in the old 1903 World Series, we got a pitch com problem.
Well, what makes the Diamondbacks unique, and we saw this a couple years ago with the Tampa Bay Rays, they're basically coming at you with every arm angle conceivable. It's like facing an octopus. And as a hitter, if you're only facing a guy once or twice, you want to be able to pick up the release point. You want to know how the ball moves. And for the Diamondbacks, almost a motley crew of arms.
It is definitely by design. He gets the friendly call. That's been the part of the plate where the home plate umpire DJ Rayburn's been more generous. Mitch Garver leading off for Texas. Last of the 6. Rangers down by 2. Gibson has turned into one of the most reliable relievers for Torey Lovullo. It's amazing he was released. Anybody could have had him in the middle of August.
Isn't that amazing? Off the scrap heap, and now smack dab in the middle of a plus side for the Diamondbacks. Game 1 of the World Series.
On the ground towards short. Perdomo to his left. He was shading full side. Perdomo got help from his Gold Glove first baseman Christian Walker, one away. Garver retired.
Well, this is the type of play where you don't really understand how good Christian Walker is at first until you see the in-between hop. He saves, Christian Walker saves his infield, multiple errors over the course of the year. Perdomo made only 4 errors this season.
Which is awesome, and he gets most of the credit for that, but some of the credit is Christian Walker. Shortstop playing almost every day, 4 errors, that's amazing. Here's Jonah Heim.
Knocked in.
Inside ball 1. I think one of the key moments of this game. Rangers had scored a run in the 3rd to tie it up. 2 outs, bases still loaded. Jonah Heim and Zach Gallen got him out. 2-0. Gallen never gave up another run after that bases loaded walk.
And ends up being a huge extra inning for Zach Gallen, because it just sets up the bullpen much better for Torey Lovullo.
Inside.
3-0. I think ideally the Diamondbacks have 3 pitchers that they really like to have the high leverage innings late in the game.
Ball 4.
Ginkel and Sewald alongside this guy Ryan Thompson, and there are others that Torey Lovullo trusts. That's a 4-pitch walk though, drawn by Jonah Heim.
Well, a lot was made of the Diamondbacks and their bullpen prior to trade deadline, and they go out and they acquire Paul Sewald, and it just kind of restacked the bullpen. Now the bullpen really struggled, but from September on, they've been a top 3 bullpen in baseball.
Amazing turnaround. That one not close. So that's 5 straight balls from Ryan Thompson, and he's looking a little ticked off.
The one benefit for Thompson, even though he doesn't want to walk anybody, he has a 62% ground ball rate, so he can pitch with traffic.
Got the call there, and that one was right over the plate. Well, Nathaniel Lowe, for so much of this year, he was one of the very best Rangers hitters. It's a long slump for Lowe. He hits a high drive to deep right field. Carroll all the way back in front of the wall to square up and make the catch. He might have just missed that one. 2 down.
I'll tell you what, the reaction of Lowe when he hit it, I felt like he thought he got it, because it's 105 miles an hour. It's just the wrong launch angle. It's 38 degrees. They put a good swing, bad result.
So 2 down. That would have tied the game. Now a guy who definitely can tie the game with 1 swing. Josh Young has got a hit in 2. And that's his first World Series game tonight. Just a rookie. That one hit hard into center field. Base hit. And Josh Young 2 for 3 tonight. And the Rangers have 2 on with 2 outs. And their 9th place hitter Leody Taveras coming up.
I love the simple approach from Josh Young. He knows he's a ground ball pitcher. You have to stay inside of the sinker. Keep your hands in, the barrel will follow. Hands out in front, barrel follows. But now you need Taveras to put a quality at bat together. Taveras, honestly, when you think back to the final spots for this year's All-Star game in Seattle, Taveras had a legitimate claim to be in the All-Star game. Lost out to Julio Rodriguez. He's one of the few players in baseball. 14 home runs, 14 stolen bases. I mean, he's got the 20-20 ability.
Well, when you hit for power and you're a Gold Glover at a premium position, you're just automatic. Almost no matter what else you do on the field, you're an extremely valuable player. Taveras, good base runner to go along with it. But he has had a quiet postseason. Strom out for another meeting. Diamondbacks will get the left-hander Joe Mantiply. You figure Simeon on deck. Mantiply's getting ready for Corey Seager, who will be after Simeon if the Rangers can rally here in the 6th. Down 5-3, 2 on, 2 out. And Thompson steps off. So that's one of your 2. It's not my favorite baseball word. It's kind of a new word. Disengagements. The pitch.
Inside.
Off the inside, ball 1. With that 80-mile-an-hour slider. Not as sharp as we've seen him in a lot of these playoff appearances. Ryan Thompson. It fouled Taveras. Got that sinker and fouled it right down off the plate.
Well, and sometimes when you're a big-bodied pitcher like Thompson is, I mean, you can tell he's long lever, 6'5", long arms. He throws from a different arm slot. You get in the World Series, your adrenaline runs, your tempo, your mechanics of how you pitch might be off just enough that the final thing, your arm serves almost like a whip. Just being off that slight 1/10 of a second means mislocation.
Harris takes a strike. He didn't think so. Right at the bottom of the zone. It's 1-2.
Well, really well received from Gabby Moreno.
Total turnaround for this Diamondbacks bullpen. Harris fights it off. Pretty amazing. I think you do give Paul Sewald a lot of credit. Kind of organized everybody, got everybody into better role, but it's also guys like Thompson and Ginkel just pitched a whole lot better. It's gone from a real weakness into a strength. Bullpen's going to get tested tonight. Harris, another foul ball. He's hanging in there.
The more and more pitches a hitter can spoil, the more and more confident a hitter becomes. They start seeing where the ball's coming out. They have a better idea of what your slider looks like when you throw it at me. You get into an even count, Taveras is going to feel pretty good.
Another 1-2. And he pops it up. Longoria and Moreno both sprinting over, and it'll be the catcher to make the call on the catch. That could have been dangerous. Instead, Moreno just took charge and made a nice play out of his crouch to catch the pop-up, and Thompson gets through the walk, the hit, the near home run. The Rangers do not score. We'll go to the 7th. D-backs lead 5-3.
Corbin Carroll sends one out of here.
Just an amazing young talent. Bradford stays in to face Corbin Carroll. Inning number 7. Corbin's got probably the biggest single hit of this World Series Game 1. A 2-run triple. Tied the game back in the 3rd. His only hit of the night so far. Left on left. D-backs and Carroll leading the Rangers 5-3. Shows a bunt, takes a ball. This guy's drafted out of high school, Spilly, and then the pandemic happened. I mean, he hardly played 142 minor league games total before coming up to the big leagues. Just turned 23, drags a bunt. Bradford fields, flips, and he got him at first. Pretty nice play by the pitcher.
Well, they say pitchers aren't athletes. Corbin Carroll's proving that he's an athlete, but this play from Bradford, really nice. Backhand, he almost had to throw it. Carroll's one of the fastest players on the field. I mean, he's top 99th percentile in sprint speed in Major League Baseball.
Not a terrible idea when you're leading off an inning, even for a guy who's got power, if you think you can beat it out, but he did not. So now Ketel Marte, who also has a big hit tonight for the D-backs. Right-handed, takes a strike.
Couldn't ask for a better fight if you're Corbin Carroll. It's just Bradford made a nicer play.
Once the ball landed, I thought he was going to have a hit. Now Simeon backhand. Got him! Wow, what a play by Marcus Simeon at second base. Marte doesn't believe it, but they're not going to challenge. He's out.
I don't blame him for not believing it, because I didn't believe it when I watched the play. And Marcus was originally a shortstop. He gets to go to his natural position, but just doing something crazy, backhand across your body, having enough arm strength to get it to Nathaniel Lowe. Wow. Those last 2 plays for the Rangers defensively, I mean, those are 2 possible base runners.
You could have 2 on, nobody out easily. Instead, 2 outs, nobody on. Bradford does his job. He'll come out of the game. John Gray, the right-hander. John Gray goes to work out of the bullpen, and a slider to Gabriel Moreno. 29 appearances this year for Texas, and basically his entire big league career he's been a starter.
I've seen him for years in Colorado. He's known as the Gray Wolf. Grew up in Oklahoma, went to school at OU, and he's always had a big fastball and a good slider. And we saw the first 2 pitches to Gabby Moreno's slider.
Here's Bochy trying to be a little creative with his pitching staff in game 1, with his team playing from behind. 0-2 to Moreno. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Moreno lines that one to right field. Garcia, though, is going to get there and make the catch. So between 2 pitchers, 3 straight outs in the top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time now in Arlington. Game 1 of the World. Deep left field, and it is gone. Well, for the Arizona Diamondbacks, this World Series did not start very well. They were down 2-0 after the first inning. Their starter looked shaky. Zach Gallen got it under control, managed to give the D-backs 5. They got to Nate Eovaldi, ultimately Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte, the 2 stars at the top of the order, both with really big hits. Only 2 hits between them, but 4 runs batted in. And so we go to the bottom of the 7th with the Diamondbacks, the road team, ahead 5-3. Texas flavor to this 2023 World Series. Of course, the World Series has been in Texas a lot lately, but down in Houston. We're moving north here to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're in Arlington at Globe Life Field. See plenty of those while we're here.
Get a lot of yee-haws for the Texas Rangers to make it through the Houston Astros was a big deal. Big deal. Now they're going to have to figure out how to solve the Diamondbacks bullpen. So far, you went from Gallen to Ryan Thompson, who was a big 6'5", a righty side armor, and now you get Joe Manaply, who's essentially another sinker baller, but from the left side.
Yeah, it's interesting that Torey Lovello takes Thompson out and gives Manaply the clean inning, even with the right-hander set to lead off in Marcus Semien. After that, you got the lefties for the Rangers. And I would think there's a pretty decent chance. You see the numbers for Manaply. Not dominant. He's not an overpowering reliever, but he is an important one for the D-backs. I think there's a decent chance Bruce Bochy might use a pinch hitter for Evan Carter if the situation calls for it. Wow, very generous strike there. That outside corner for a right-handed hitter has been big tonight.
Yeah, you need a boat paddle to hit it.
Semien. Pitch came in, and he fouled it away. So the count is 0-2 to Marcus Semien. Trying to get it going. Hit the ball harder his last time up. But still 0 for 3 tonight. 2 is low. So Corey Seager on deck. After that, Evan Carter. Bruce Bochy doesn't want to take Carter out of the game, but he does have a pinch hitter on the bench, Robbie Grossman, who can play that outfield spot as a very good hitter against lefties. That one is muscled out to left. Gurriel, 1 away.
Well, if anything, the Diamondbacks have been able to prevent the leadoff base runners from getting on. Even though the Rangers were able to score in the first inning, they haven't had a leadoff base runner the entire game.
That's a good point. That's usually a recipe for success. Not a single leadoff hitter has reached base for the Rangers tonight. Seager fouls one off his foot.
You see a lot of hitters almost put that protective front guard, and Seager does not have it. It might be hiding under his uniform, but it doesn't look like it.
Just as a contrast, because I think it's a really important point you just made. Seager swings and misses. Mantiply fooled him. Diamondbacks 3 times have gotten the leadoff hitter aboard. All 3 times that guy has scored. So in some ways that's the difference in the game. Ability to get a rally started early in an inning. Well off the outside. Kevin Ginkel up in the Diamondbacks bullpen. I would think from here on out, Torey Lovullo's thinking, I've got Mantiply, I've got Ginkel, and I've got Paul Sewald. If whatever combo I need, those are my guys. Those last 2 guys have not allowed a single run all postseason.
And even Ryan Thompson was only scored upon 3 different times in his last 22 appearances. So a Diamondbacks team that really blew a ton of saves is now just shutting it down.
This is where they want to be. Seager strikes out swinging. Joe Mantiply, that was impressive. I mean, Corey Seager's not a guy who's helpless against lefties.
There's that different arm angle. Tough for Seager to pick it up, and Bochy decides, you know what, I'm not going to go to my bench. I'm going to use Evan Carter with nobody on base.
It's interesting to me. Now, I understand, I think, what the Texas manager is thinking. 2 outs, nobody on. You know you've got Ginkel and Sewald at the end of the game. And you want Carter in the middle of your lineup for that at bat. If you have somebody on base here, maybe you just use Grossman and say, see if you can hit one out or knock in a run. The 2 outs and nobody on. There's Ginkel getting ready. 5-3 Diamondbacks. Mantiply can't hear, so he steps off. You can't step off. Moreno's going to have to go visit the mound.
So watch how the umpire follows, because he has to prove to the umpire that they're having an issue with pitch count.
Yeah. Then you don't get charged with the visit. If it really is an issue, everything for the Diamondbacks has been so buttoned up in this game except their pitch count. They need to get on top of that. This is the second time. Okay. Years old, 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, a run scored, a run batted in game 1 of this World Series. But that slider, I mean, the 2 lefty hitters here against Mantiply, those were not good looking swings against that breaking ball.
Not at all.
Here you go.
And as a lot of lefty hitters are not accustomed to seeing, first off, this type of arm angle, a curveball and a sinker. I mean, lefties just aren't accustomed. You're not used to seeing it from Little League through professional sports. You just don't get this arm angle.
Chopper, it stays fair. No, it just kicked foul. Usually you wait for the home plate umpire to make that call. Alfonso Marquez maybe got a signal from DJ Rayburn. Christian Walker thought he had him, but a foul ball, so it's still 2-2.
Well, normally this call, because it's in front of the bag, is going to be the home plate umpire's call.
Got the call right. It's a second chance for Evan Carter. 2-2. Little pop-up behind short. Perdomo's there, out number 3 against the top of the order. What an impressive inning from Joe Mantiply. And so the Diamondbacks will head to the 8th inning here in game 1 in Arlington, and still ahead 5-3. maybe the most famous defensive play in the history of baseball, and it came in Game 1 of a World Series, 1954. Willie Mays at the Polo Grounds, back to the infield, over the shoulder, basket catch to rob Vic Wirtz of extra bases, save a run, save more. The Giants would end up beating Cleveland in that game and sweeping that World Series in 1954. And since that moment, forever known as the catch.
I mean, every time you see a player make a catch like that, no matter where you are, no matter what team you call, it's called a Willie Mays catch.
And think about how long ago that was. 70 years ago, and we're still talking about it all these years later. John Gray stays in for Texas, 8th inning, and he and the Rangers behind 5-3. Christian Walker for the D-backs. You know, Torey Lovullo would love to get even just one more run against this explosive Rangers offense that led the American League in runs and slugging and on base, home runs in the regular season. Good numbers for Walker career. He's faced John Gray quite a bit. Walker 0 for 2 and behind 0-2. Gray got it with that 89-mile-an-hour slider. Out, and Tommy Pham will come up. This is what Tommy did back in the 4th inning.
He got an 88-mile-an-hour split finger, and he spun it around 102 miles an hour off the second deck, 419 feet. His first career World Series home run. He had 5 postseason home runs prior.
Takes a fastball, 97 miles an hour for a strike. So he's driven in 3 runs this postseason, all with a solo home run. One Tommy Pham.
Well, Dave, we know tomorrow it still hasn't been announced yet who the Game 2 starter is for the Rangers, unless it's happened during the game, which I doubt that's happened.
I mean, I think it wouldn't be a question. Jordan Montgomery has been the guy along with Eovaldi for Texas. It wouldn't really be a question. Will Smith is warming up in the Rangers bullpen, except for the fact that Bruce Bochy used Montgomery out of the bullpen against the Astros at the end of that championship series.
And they were saying that they were waiting, almost as if they were waiting to see the results of tonight for a sense of urgency. Kind of hoping, can you win with Eovaldi? And we get it. Look, there's still outs to go. The game's not over. But would you feel a sense of urgency to push Montgomery in Game 2 if you're down 1 game to the Diamondbacks?
Well, we think it's going to be Montgomery. Merrill Kelly's going to go for the Diamondbacks. And I think the Rangers, after we talked to Bruce Bochy, I think the Rangers essentially said as much, that Montgomery's fine, he'll go. There's Merrill Kelly, interesting guy, not a big power pitcher, doesn't throw all that hard, but tough to hit. Two. Got it. John Gray. That slider's nasty out of the bullpen. 2 down.
It's always been a nasty pitch for him. He's almost a leader all-time in strikeouts in Rockies franchise history. Signed with the Rangers a handful of years ago. Scuffled down the stretch, was dealing with some injuries.
Amazing, the Rangers have had to rework their starting rotation in so many different ways, and here they are still playing in the World Series. Fastball runs in to Lourdes Gurriel. 0 for 3 tonight for Gurriel. .53 D-backs, 8th inning, 2 down. Gurriel swings and misses. A lot of swings and misses for Gurriel. Typically, you don't really think of him as a guy who's going to swing and miss all that much.
This guy has a very low strikeout rate, very high contact percentage, but he might just be swinging a little bit too hard tonight.
A little out of sorts. Takes that one. Strike two. Two down, and John Gray. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt with the hard slider. Rangers bullpen giving the Rangers a chance to come from behind tonight.
Well, that's the thing with this Rangers team, is figuring out middle relief.
Saw that graphic there. Gurriel hits another ball pretty hard, and that's a base hit. And had a lot to show for it. He's hit a lot of line drives in the playoffs, and that's a 2-out single for Lourdes Gurriel.
That's where the 2-strike approach and his ability to put a ball in play without punching out. We've seen that numerous times tonight for the Diamondbacks, that even with 2 strikes, they've had multiple hits.
Down for Alek Thomas. He takes a fastball high. Thomas has 2 hits, a run, a steal. Both those hits have been infield hits. Looking ahead to tomorrow with Jordan Montgomery on the mound, it'll be interesting to see. Torey Lovullo has gone with Tommy Pham in the outfield against lefties. Moved Corbin Carroll to center. If you hang on and win this game, do you consider leaving Thomas in there, keeping your best defensive team out on the field even against the lefty?
It's above my pay grade, but I would assume that they're probably going to take defense as a premium over some of the offense. It's really hard to pull some players out when they were that much better defensively, especially in a ballpark like this.
2-1 to Thomas. John Gray misses with a fastball high. It's 3-1.
Well, this becomes a damage count for Alek Thomas. Over the course of the season, he's done most of his damage on fastballs over 95. He's a 350 hitter. Slugs it at a big rate, so 3-1 count. He's probably looking for a little bit of a party.
And a power hitter in the playoffs. Gurriel runs. Thomas hits a pop-up. We'll see if it's playable. Carter and Young chasing, and nobody gets there. Lands on top of the rail, right against the net. 3-2.
Thomas had a huge, massive pinch hit home run against the Philadelphia Phillies, and he talked about it in that he was just trying to make contact. He was just trying to throw his hands.
Rangers fans know they cannot afford to fall any farther behind with the guys lined up in the bullpen for Arizona. Full count. Gurriel's going to take off. There he goes. Thomas strikes out swinging. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. A hit, but 3 strikeouts for John Gray, and no Diamondback runs. So now we'll see if Ginkel's coming in for the bottom of the 8th. D-backs ahead by 2.
Household name, but he has one of the most unique pitches in Major League Baseball. 4-seam fastball, slider, and a sinker. You might be saying to yourself, that's not too unique. Well, his slider is. It has more vertical drop than virtually any slider in the sport. He also has more swing and miss on the slider, has no horizontal movement. It just goes straight down. In this postseason, he's been virtually untouchable. Right-handers on the course of the season, they hit 100 against his slider. League average against the slider on the season hit .077. He was a player that got sent down to the minor leagues trying to figure out how to throw more strikes. He's been a fantastic find for the Diamondbacks late.
So a huge task for the Rangers, down to their final 6 outs, down 2 runs. Adolis Garcia, man, that is just a perfect first pitch slider for strike 1. A nice game for Adolis Garcia. An RBI single plus a walk, 1 for 2. The only out he made, he hit the ball 108 miles an hour. It's 1-1.
Well, El Bombi, when he hits the ball, it's, you know, it's going to be hit hard. He's near the top of baseball in average exit velocity.
Now it's asking a lot, but if Ginkel and Sewall could get through these 2 innings without allowing a base runner, you wouldn't have to face the top of the order again.
There you go. The highest chase rate this postseason is Kevin Ginkel with the slider.
Behind 2-1 to Adolis Garcia. There's been an RBI machine for the Rangers. That one outside, but that's not ball 4. Garcia's going to first. That's ball 3.
Yeah, when you see a player do that, it confuses you.
Yeah, did I get it wrong? Did I miss something? No.
It's outside.
Oh, no, ball 3. Okay. 1 pitch. That's a strike. Fastball right at the knees over the outside. Diamondbacks knew it. 3-2 pitch. Garcia chops one toward third. Foul. It's not comfortable these days to face Garcia under any circumstances, but late in a game when he can't tie the game with 1 swing, that's like a little small victory. Face him where he can't change the outcome with 1 swing. 3-2. Fouls it away. Take these 2 guys we've been talking about. They have not, between the 2 of them, given up a run. Sewall perfect 6 for 6 in save opportunities. They've hardly given up any hits. 3-2. Garcia, hard hit. Perdomo can't get it. So Adolis Garcia thought he had a walk. Now he's got a hit. And the Rangers will get the tying run to the plate in this bottom of the 8th inning.
Of course, this is baseball. The Diamondbacks haven't had a leadoff base runner get aboard. Of course, it's Adolis Garcia against the premier reliever in this postseason, Kevin Ginkel. And of course, the hit comes off the slider. Baseball.
That was, I think, exactly the pitch that Ginkel wanted to make. That's just a guy who's so hot right now. That was a tough pitch. That's ball 1 to Mitch Garver, who definitely has the power to tie the game with 1 swing. In a playoff game, a World Series game, a base runner is a rally. That's a strike with the slider. 1-1. Garcia's hit has brought the crowd back to life. Jonah on deck. Half swing and miss. 1-2.
Well, there's high end velocity with Ginkel. It's not like he's throwing slow. He's 96, 97. But the way the ball comes out and it pairs so nicely with the slider that it's hard to tell. You'll see these half-hearted swings just because guys are not picking up the spin.
Garver had a terrific plate appearance where he drew the walk with the bases loaded back in the 3rd. Otherwise 0 for 2. Behind the count 1-2. Ginkel got him with the fastball. 97 miles an hour. Out number 1.
That's just unfair. you start looking for an off-speed pitch away, and then you get tied up and in. And there's nothing anybody can do to hit this pitch.
One out. Jonah Heim takes the fastball up for ball one. Heim also 0 for 2 with a walk. Got great speed over at first base. Adolis Garcia. He hit one down the line into the gap, even with these great defensive outfielders in center and right. Got a chance to at least get one on the board. That's ball 2.
Well, the Rangers are 27th in baseball in stolen bases, so they, even though they can steal more because they know they can pop you for a homer, they don't want to run the risk of running into an out.
We're down 2. If it were a one-run game, it might be a little different equation. That one, he went around, but the ball gets by Moreno. So Garcia's going to go to second. It's a swing and miss on a wild pitch.
Moreno gets high praise for his defensive abilities behind home plate, but when you call a slider and you let this one get away, this one's tough just based on where it hits.
So now a base hit could make this a one-run game. 5-3 D-backs, bottom 8. Ginkel. This is high with a fastball. Heim so far has laid off that high fastball. Hitters count 3-1. Heim fouls it away. Back with the high fastball.
And even in a 3-1 count where you're looking out over the plate, Heim was beaten by it. We've seen one slider, and that was right in the middle of the at-bat. And now normally a slider late in the game, down and into a lefty, you might avoid it just because that's a pitch that a lot of lefties, they can pull and yank and hit for a home run, but not with Ginkel's slider.
Especially that characteristic, the way it breaks that you described at the start of the inning. Full count 3-2. The pitch. Heim fouls it away. Stayed with the fastball. And that's interesting. Not using his put-away pitch against Jonah Heim.
Well, and you have first base open too, so you have a little bit of wiggle room.
Another 3-2 from Ginkel to Heim. Fouled away. He went with the slider, and give Jonah Heim credit.
Well, Heim had an unbelievable season with 95 RBIs, and he's putting together a real quality at bat.
Ginkel. Sometimes you want to keep that runner at second close. Sometimes maybe you just need a few more seconds. Huge pitch in this game right here, right now. Another 3-2. To Heim. He fouls it back. Fastball at 97 caught a lot of the strike zone.
Now you start getting into the 9th pitch of the at bat, and again you have first base open, so you can go for a wipeout pitch. You don't have to worry about having to throw a strike because you still have the possibility of a double play.
3-2. Heim takes ball 4. Man, what a good job by Jonah Heim. 9-pitch battle, and he draws the walk. So now the Rangers have 2 on with 1 out. The tying run is at first, and Texas is going to use a pinch runner for Heim. So Heim builds the rally. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, will visit again. So Josh Smith, he came in a game 5,
of the postseason. It was pinch running. It was a little bit conservative in Game 5, where he had a chance to possibly go first to third. We'll see if he's a little bit more aggressive tonight, even as a possible tying run.
You know, nobody has scored yet. Daniel Lowe's going to be coming up here. His last at bat, if you think back to the 6th, he just missed one. Just missed hitting one out. For a moment, I think he thought he had it. He's got big power. If he did it here, the Rangers would go ahead. Kevin Ginkel has been invincible in the playoffs. Looking a little more vulnerable here tonight in Game 1 of the World Series. 2 on, 1 out for Lowe. First pitch off the outside and a little bit high at 94. This already is nearly the highest pitch count of any appearance for Ginkel in the playoffs. Rangers have not had many chances in spots like this. Swing and a miss. He overpowered him with that fastball. That was just a challenge pitch.
It was, and there's a good pitch for Nathaniel to hit. When he's at his best, he's taking that fastball, driving it into left center. So now Paul Sewald's in a rush to get loose. Nathaniel Lowe's 1 for 9 this postseason with runners in scoring position.
Pinch runner Smith at first. He's the tying run. Garcia the runner at second. 1 out. A 1-1. Swing and a miss again. Another fastball. It's 1-2. Pitch. Lowe kind of flips one to left. Gurriel will make the catch for out number 2. Ginkel retires Nathaniel Lowe. 2 down. And the rookie Josh Young will try to keep this rally going.
Well, Dave, there's a pitch number for most relievers that they often say, I start missing location pretty bad. And that pitch is usually at 25. For a lot of relievers, they're really good between pitches 1 and 18. Once you get over that, you get into the 20 threshold, this is where you start losing location. You miss location, it's a 3-run shot.
This next pitch will match the most he's thrown in any playoff appearance this year. Number 25 coming, and Young was ready for the fastball but fouled it back. World Series game for Josh Young. 2 hits, 2 for 3. A hit here would be enormous with the Rangers down 2 in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs. Ginkel. High. Using that high fastball a lot. Torey Lovello told us before the game today, Brent Strom, one of the main things he did was preach the high fastball coming to Arizona. There's Ginkel's 1-1. Young got jammed, rolls one softly to short. Perdomo got him at first. So Kevin Ginkel works around the hit and the walk, and once again puts up a scoreless inning of relief. Man, has he been good in the playoffs. Midway and now on to the 9th. We go to the 9th inning of Game 1 of this 2023 World Series in Arlington, Texas, and the Arizona Diamondbacks trying to steal Game 1 on the road. Road teams winning. That's been a big theme of this postseason in both leagues. Austin Hedges takes over at catcher. Hasn't played a lot since coming to the Rangers. Jonah Heim reached base in the bottom of the 8th. Then they used a pinch runner for him. So Mitch Garver, the other catcher, is the DH tonight. Hedges comes in. John Gray stays out there on the mound for Texas, trying to keep this a 2-run deficit and give the 9-1-2 hitters a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning.
If you're Arizona, you want more than anything to score at least one more run.
And Longoria against John Gray. Strike one. Longo's got a hit tonight in his first at bat, and that was a big hit. It fueled what turned into a 3-run rally back in the 3rd after Texas had gone ahead 2-0.
Longoria told us it's the best his body's felt in a long time.
Pretty amazing considering it's been a long year. Here we are at the very end of the year. Got it. Gray with another slider for strike 3. John Gray's got the swing and miss stuff. 4 strikeouts, all on swinging strike 3s. And that'll be it for him. So Bruce Bochy's coming out to make another change. You got Perdomo. They like to have Perdomo hit from the right side. And then Corbin Carroll. So Will Smith, the veteran lefty, who's won a World Series ring each of the last 2 years. Will Smith is going to come in from the bullpen in the 9th inning. We'll be back. Now the left-hander Will Smith out of the Rangers bullpen here in the top of the 9th inning. Texas trying to stay just 2 runs down. 60 regular season appearances. For a while he was the closer here in Texas. 22 saves. Lost that job. Still has been an important part of the Rangers bullpen.
And he's always had this amazing slider from the left side. And I love that you told the story. He won a World Series ring in 2021 with the Atlanta Braves, and then won a World Series ring last year with the Houston Astros.
So now here he is in Texas, back in the World Series. It's like an everyday thing for Will Smith, every year thing.
Well, certain guys
comes around and he's going to be here.
Yeah, there's a couple players in Major League history that feel like they're the lucky rabbit's foot or your special good luck charm to get to the postseason and beyond.
And maybe Will's one of them. He was a closer on that Braves team in 2021. Bounces that breaking ball. So it's 1-2. He got the final out. Got 2 saves in that World Series for the Atlanta Braves. Last year did not pitch in the World Series for Houston.
But you still get a ring.
And get the ring. 1-2.
No!
Takes that breaking ball. So it's 2-2. You got Corbin Carroll after Perdomo. Another nice game for Geraldo Perdomo. Only 1 hit officially, but a sac bunt, a single, a steal, a run scored, and a line out. Chops that one towards short, cutting over from third. Josh Young, 2 down. So Corbin Carroll comes up. You know, it is amazing the company in so many different ways for Corbin Carroll. Rookies with 25 home runs and 40 or more steals in a single season. In the history of the game, there have only been 2. And one is going to go down as one of the all-time greats, Mike Trout. Corbin Carroll's the other one. Just what an amazing rookie year for Corbin Carroll. Takes high for Will Smith.
And I guess with Mike Trout, he looks the part. 6'3", big frame, looks like a linebacker. With Corbin Carroll, he doesn't.
He looks like the bat boy. You just see him before the game, and then he swings like that. A liner to right. Garcia with a leaping catch to take away extra bases from Corbin Carroll. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Texas hoping that that guy will have a chance to hit one more time. Adolis Garcia with a heck of a play for out number 3. 9. That's Taveras. Then 1, Marcus Semien, and Corey Seager due up for the Rangers, down 2 as we go to the last of the 9th.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
I don't believe what I just saw.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
blended together a couple of the greatest calls in baseball history. One of the true great moments in the history of the game. Game 1 in 1988, Kirk Gibson. Here we are, Game 1 in 2023. And Paul Sewald is going to try to close out a Game 1 victory for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has been outstanding in the playoffs. So here we go. Last 3 outs for the Rangers. Leody Taveras trying to get a rally started from the 9 spot in the order, and he takes a strike. Very generous strike once again. Emmanuel Rivera has taken over at third base. A defensive upgrade for the D-backs. Sewald gets that call. It's going to be a tough inning for the Rangers.
It'll be a quick, efficient inning like we've seen from Sewald. His last 11 appearances, he's 7 out of 7 with saves. He's only given up 4 hits with 16 punch-outs.
1-1. Like so many of these Diamondbacks relievers, it's not the mold of the typical closer. And this is no Aroldis Chapman or even Craig Kimbrell's with the fireball repertoire. 2-1. And that's outside. 3-1.
This is where Sewald, I mean, he's not somebody, he will walk. Walks about 10% of the batters. That's a little bit higher than league average.
Well, you figure he can't afford to walk this guy with the big boys lined up. And he did walk him.
Well, for Sewald, it's a fastball sweeper. He spent a bunch of years with the New York Mets, went over to the Seattle Mariners as a 31-year-old, as a non-roster invitee, and they encouraged him to throw the fastball at the top of the strike zone. And as they say, the rest is history.
So now Marcus Semien swings and misses. That was the sweeper, strike 1. A postseason of frustration for Semien, one of the great players in the game. And all that could be forgotten with one swing here. Runner at first, nobody out. He pulls one sharply foul. Sewald jumps ahead 0-2.
Well, Marcus has had a couple good swings even into the last series against the Houston Astros. He's been barreling pitches up, but they're going straight up. Expect a high fastball at some point against Semien to punch him out.
0-2. Semien strikes out on the high fastball. Huge first out for Sewald after walking the 9th place hitter. And he went up with the fastball.
That's just where he's been tied up. I mean, he's up and in has been the spot where both the Astros and now the Diamondbacks are exposing him.
And now Corey Seager stands in. One of the most fearsome power hitters in the game. And he launches one to deep right field. This game is tied up. Corey Seager with a monstrous home run. Rangers down to their final 2 outs in Game 1. And he takes Sewald deep.
Well, look at that. 113 miles an hour off the bat, and he just inflates his own team.
Wow, what a swing. And now Evan Carter trying to start a new rally and just win the game here in the 9th.
Not quite Gibson, but still pretty remarkable.
Time asked for by Carter. The guy who's been untouchable in the playoffs, Paul Sewald, got touched up. 5-5. Not even close from Sewald.
I mean, this place just exploded, and as a defender, you feel like you've been gut punched. You're in a state of shock.
Fights it off. I mean, for the Diamondbacks, they had it all set up. This is their guy. But one of the game's true greats for the moment has saved the Rangers. Seager. 1-2. Carter, another foul ball. Well, the Rangers people were saying that home run he hit early in Game 7 in Houston, which got the whole thing going for Texas, was the most emotion they'd ever seen from Seager. I think he's trumped it. Got it. Carter goes down on the sweeper. So 2 down. And look who's coming up.
This place has gotten so loud you can barely think. And as a defender, a pitcher, you're trying to just focus in on the things you can.
Garcia takes strike 1. Fastball right down the middle.
Well, David,
Sewald, I might not throw that pitch again.
No, you might not get away with it. In the outfield, you cannot hear ball off the bat at this moment.
0-1. Garcia fouls it off. He went after that sweeper. Now he's behind the count 0-2. Sewald and the Diamondbacks just trying to survive to get to extra innings. Now Garcia asks for time. Hit him. Oh my goodness, that got him on the wrist or the arm. Garcia keeps getting hit, and the Rangers fans are sick of it. Bruce Bochy's going to come out and check on his superstar, make sure he's okay. Got him on the hand.
That's the worst spot to get. There's just so many different bones. You want the meaty part. Look at Adolis, his arms. He's like, hit me in the bicep. His fastball just runs in, ends up catching him off his left wrist. Sewald's not fast to home, so he's rather slow. So if Adolis does want to leave, it's a good chance for him.
Mitch Garver, the hitter. Garcia runs, pitch taken high, throw, not in time. So now the winning run is in scoring position.
Now if you're Torey Lovullo, you walk Mitch Garver and you face Josh Smith. Or you face Austin Hedges on deck.
I guarantee you the D-backs are thinking about that right now.
They're trying to get it in.
I think it's so loud they can't communicate with their catcher, but now they have told Mitch Garver, you're going to first.
Yeah, it becomes an easy play for Torey Lovullo. You do not want to get beat by Mitch Garver. As soon as Adolis stole second base, it becomes an easy thought process. We'll face Austin Hedges, who really good backup catcher, had a phenomenal year with Pittsburgh before he came over here, was one of the top receiving catchers, but not a big bat.
First at bat of these playoffs for Austin Hedges here in the World Series. So he hasn't had a game at bat in a long time. Can he be the unlikeliest of heroes? Swings and misses over top the sweeper. Corey Seager with a 2-run homer here in the bottom of the ninth to tie. Now 2 on, 2 out for Austin Hedges. Seawall sticks with that sweeper. It's 0-2.
His last actual at bat in the game was September 29th, a month ago.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to stay sharp. Seawall, it's 0-2. Got him with the sweeper. So Hedges strikes out, but Corey Seager most certainly did not. He strikes big. A monstrous home run with the Rangers down to their final 2 outs of Game 1 of the World Series to tie the game. And we're going to extra innings here in Arlington after Corey Seager's heroics. Well, the Rangers were hoping to get a chance to play on, and they do. Corey Seager's home run ties the game in the bottom of the ninth, and now they'll use their closer at home in a tie game, Jose Leclerc, who's had kind of a wild ride. I mean, he had a good year, but it's not always smooth sailing for Jose Leclerc. Here he is in a tie game. So the Diamondbacks rebound. Ketel Marte takes strike 1.
Well, from a Rangers point of view, Rangers are in a position of strength. You can use your closer right here. Hopefully you get out of this inning. And then now you're going to a different reliever from the Diamondbacks perspective, not their A reliever. Unfortunately, Paul Sewald, their A reliever, did give up the 2-run shot.
And if you needed a refresher, I mean, we wouldn't blame you. This is the first extra inning game all postseason, all rounds, first one. Not a single extra inning game in the playoffs until Game 1 of this World Series. But we don't use the same extra inning rules in the playoffs that we do in the regular season. We just play on normal baseball, no automatic runner. 1-2 to Ketel Marte. Diamondbacks have gotten up off the deck before, but won't be easy here tonight. Marte, a liner, and that one was caught. Simeon makes a throw anyway, but he caught it. Out number 1. It's a big first out for Leclerc to get through Ketel Marte.
Last time Leclerc pitched in a game at Globe Life Field, it was his first time his mom had seen him pitch. It was 6 years that she flew from the Dominican. She had a fear of flying, so it took her a while. And of course, that was the game that Leclerc blew the save. Jose Altuve hit a 3-run shot, a monster shot. Don't worry, his mom got to see him pitch in Game 6 and 7.
And you got to give Leclerc credit for moving past that. Didn't let it linger. Strike 1 to Gabriel Moreno. He's had a quiet game at the plate, 0 for 4.
Well, Leclerc, like Kevin Ginkel, has a disappearing slider.
Big swing, foul back, 2-2. It's more like cutter at 92 miles an hour. New life for Rangers fans who are feeling a little down and out until the swing by Seager. 2-2. It's high. Full count. Christian Walker is on deck.
Well, Leclerc is almost throwing too hard and throwing through his break. So some guys you'll see, if they start overthrowing the slider, it turns into a bad fastball.
Moreno strikes out swinging. That would count as a good fastball. 2 down.
He just pulls back. grabs 97. For Moreno, he had a pitch to hit. He actually had 2 in the at-bat.
So 2 outs for Walker. Over top that slider, strike 1. Diamondbacks played 5 previous extra inning games in their playoff history. They've never won one. Oh, and 2.
All right, now Christian Walker has to figure it out. He's getting a timeout. He's been a black hole in the middle of the Diamondbacks lineup. It's just an out. He had 33 home runs this season, and he's just an out right now.
Hard time making contact. He struck out 3 times already tonight. 0-2, the pitch. He makes contact, but just pops it up. Shallow center. Taveras out, number 3. A run will win it for the Rangers. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th here in Game 1 of the World Series. It's 5-5. Can handle 6 more of these? I don't know. This has been a wild Game 1. Bottom 10. Kyle Nelson, the left-hander. Strike 1 to Nathaniel Lowe. 68 appearances in the regular season. He did a good job.
It's not an easy spot to come in. You're in the World Series, and you're 1 bad pitch away from being walked off.
Lowe's got big time power, swings and misses, and it's 0-2.
And for Kyle Nelson, he's close, just not in these type of environments. He was in college at UC Santa Barbara. He's from San Francisco.
Went to Galileo High School. You know who else went to Galileo High School?
You did?
Joe DiMaggio. That's pretty good baseball company.
It's a great baseball company.
The 1-2. And we asked him today, do you care how you get used? Do you need some? He goes, actually, I prefer it when I don't know. This is the ultimate. I didn't know. I mean, he had no inkling he was going to be in this game. And this is inside from 0-2 to 3-2.
He's going to have to find a strike right here. I mean, you give up a pitch that the guy makes a good swing and you lose the game, fine, but you cannot walk a leadoff walk late.
He did. He walked him.
Well, the old scoreboard in Montreal for the Expos, when a walk would happen, they would show on the scoreboard a ghost, and it says, walks will haunt. That's what happened in the 9th inning with Paul Sewald. It was a leadoff walk, and now a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 10th inning.
When you look back at the way that 9th inning played out, leadoff walk to the 9th place hitter. And that allowed Seager to tie the game with his beautiful swing. Winning run at first. Nobody out. Foul back, Josh Young. Big rip. Rangers, weirdly, in the regular season, for a team as good as they were only 2-8 in extra inning games in the regular season. Yeah, their bullpen had some issues. Maybe that's part of it. Kyle Nelson on the mound. And misses. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
He throws a little cut fastball into the hands of righties, but if Josh Young beats him to that, that's in that left field corner. That's extra bases.
On the ground towards short. Perdomo will get the out at second. That's one. Marte got him at first. What a turn by the D-backs infield defense. 2 down.
Well, both the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, .990 fielding percentage. That's the best in baseball. But watching this get turned, there's a cut fastball under the hands of Josh Young. Nelson beats him. But then it's the arm strength of Ketel Marte.
Terrific throw from Marte. So 2 down, bases empty. That leadoff walk for the moment erased. And out Taveras will turn around at bat right-handed against Nelson. Well, got the rally started last inning. Takes a strike, very low strike given that time. It's 0-1. Strike the count. Tie game, bottom 10. Half swing and miss. Strike 2. Just totally broke him down with that breaking ball.
You can look at the slider. So he throws a cut fastball, then he takes a little bit off an 85-mile-an-hour slider.
Out. Hitter gets 1. Rangers bullpen looks quiet to me, so I think if this game goes to the 11th, Jose Leclerc, here he is sitting on the bench, staying locked in. He's going to stay in. 2-2. Full count.
Well, Kyle Nelson does not want Taveras to get on base because Marcus Semien, this is the perfect type of pitcher for him.
Full count, 3-2. Here it comes. That is ball 4. Well, that's the second walk in 3 hitters issued by Kyle Nelson. He got away with it once with the double play ball, but now, as you say, he's got to get through the Rangers leadoff hitter.
And Marcus is going to be aggressive in the first couple pitches, and for Kyle Nelson, you either have to be able to throw it up and in or in off the plate, but Marcus wants it middle in and down, which is where Kyle Nelson's heat map to righties is.
Semien uses his time, and then Brent Strom decides he wants to talk to his young left-hander.
Because he knows the same thing we know. Middle in to Marcus Semien is not your best pitch. And so Kyle's going to have to almost go away from his natural strength. Probably look to expose the outer part of the strike zone.
Rangers have had 1 playoff walk-off win in their history. Nelson Cruz, you have to go back and remember, against the Tigers in the ALCS in 2011, hit a grand slam in the 11th inning.
So it's a 70% first strike percentage for Kyle Nelson. This game could be over on 1 bad first pitch strike.
Yeah. And you got Seager looming even as a left-handed hitter on deck. The reason we're playing here in the 10th. Good speed at first. Semien pulls one into left field on the first pitch, base hit. Gurriel gets to the ball. Taveras has to stop at second. Well, you called it. You could see it coming. 2 on, 2 out, winning run in scoring position after this hit from Marcus Semien.
Well, if anything, it wasn't elevated, so that's the saving grace for Nelson. Now you're matching up against the guy that got us here.
He went after the first pitch in his at-bat an inning ago to tie the game. First one here is down and away. They got the young Evan Carter on deck after Seager. But of course, then you'd have to face Carter with the bases loaded, and Carter's got the great command of the strike zone. ball too. But you would have a real hard time blaming Kyle Nelson if he wants to be extra careful against this guy.
He's going to be the runner-up MVP, but he did lead the American League in batting average with runners in scoring position, nearly 400.
Seager on the ground to second. Marte's got it, and he throws him out. Kyle Nelson had to dig deep there, but he got through it. And so the Diamondbacks survive to the 11th inning. We'll be in Arlington for a thriller of a Game 1 of this 119th World Series. The Arizona Diamondbacks, the Texas Rangers. It's 5-5 as we play in the 11th inning. Tommy Pham against Jose Leclerc, his second inning out of the Rangers bullpen. And strike one to Tommy Pham, who homered, and it feels like it was a long time ago.
It does, doesn't it?
He lines that one to left, but hanging for Carter, one away.
Well, this postseason, Leclerc's been asked to pick up multiple innings a couple of times, and that's what Bruce Bochy does with some of his more trusted bullpen arms. Josh Spores has been probably his best, most consistent reliever. He hasn't even started warming up yet.
Look, it's the playoffs, so you're emptying the tank. You're just doing whatever it takes to win a game, not worrying about the next day. First pitch here to Gurriel is top foul, but with no off day before Game 2 tomorrow, a game like this could have some effects for Game 2. Maybe put a little extra pressure on both starters to perform well. Now Kelly for the D-backs, Jordan Montgomery lined up to go for the Rangers. Ball one to Gurriel.
I think if you're the Diamondbacks offense, you have to look for a pitch almost right down the middle against Leclerc. One of the lowest strike percentage throwers in baseball.
Oh! Gurriel, did he go? Yes, he did. It's hard for Lourdes Gurriel. He's a very good player, but he wants to swing the bat. Leclerc's 1-2 pitch to the backstop. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Gurriel strikes out swinging. To chase, 2 down.
The hand, it almost looks like it's a strike, but it's not. And for Leclerc to be able to get now 6 outs, huge for Bruce Bochy, and to give his offense another chance.
Diamondbacks have a right-hander, Miguel Castro, warming up in their bullpen. There's Castro. See if we see him in the bottom of this 11th inning. 5-5. Alek Thomas waves at that one. Strike one. Ball one strike to count to Thomas. 2 for 4, 2 infield hits tonight. 4 home runs though in the playoffs for Thomas. No. 2-1. If you walk Alek Thomas, Thomas is going to be going. Pops it up. Should be playable. Young over from third. He's got it. 2 brilliant innings from Jose Leclerc. And he's given his team another chance to win it with 1 in the bottom of the 11th. With Carter Garcia. A very memorable recent extra inning game in the World Series. It was Game 3 in 2018. Red Sox playing at Dodger Stadium. Nate Eovaldi out of the Red Sox bullpen in that game. 6 innings of relief, but Max Muncy got him in the 18th to end a marathon game. That's the last extra inning walk-off home run we've had in the World Series. Eovaldi, of course, who started Game 1 tonight for Texas. Kyle Nelson stays in for Arizona, at least against this guy, Evan Carter. Gets strike 1 swinging.
Well, I like that Torey Lovullo is almost baiting Bruce Bochy to see if he's willing to go to Robbie Grossman. Are you willing to pull this young kid out for 1 at bat and then lessen your defense? Bochy's not biting. It's too big of a fish.
Lovullo's got Castro ready. Nelson pitched a full inning, so he could make a counter move. Swing and a miss by Carter. You figure with Adolis Garcia on deck, Kyle, this would be your last guy. I'm just guessing, but I would think that the Diamondbacks would want Castro to face Garcia. But you're right. Torey Lovullo's gotten some matchups, I think, that he likes as this game has gone on. Both bullpens, other than the 1 pitch by Sewald to Corey Seager, have done an excellent job. The Texas bullpen, 6 1/3 scoreless innings tonight. 2-2. That one is hit high to right field. Carroll is there, out number 1. So Evan Carter flies out. And Torey Lovullo's already pointed. No doubt about this move. Castro's going to be coming in. You got to give Kyle Nelson credit. He got 4 big outs in extra innings after the disastrous bottom of the 9th. He'll get the kudos from his manager as he walks off the field. So Castro coming in, pitching change, tie game, bottom 11. Rangers postseason heroes coming up.
I mean, the type of postseason he could only dream about. 5 home runs against the Houston Astros to knock him out. He started a bit of a kerfluffle Game 5 and then answered it back. He struck out 4 consecutive times Game 6 before running into a grand slam in his 5th at bat, and then hit 2 more in Game 7.
He can be the hero here against the new pitcher Miguel Castro, the right-hander, out of the Diamondbacks bullpen, and his first pitch of the night goes to the backstop.
Now Castro, 75 appearances. That led the National League. He's had 6 postseason appearances as well. He was 20 years old with the Toronto Blue Jays and closing out games.
That one misses badly. 2-0. Well, you got a similar scenario playing out here in that Mitch Garver's on deck. After that, though, you'd have Austin Hedges, who just has not played in the postseason. Garcia trying to end the game with that swing. 2-1. Not like he ever really shortens up.
No, he's always going to swing hard. Well, that's a sinking fastball, and he's trying to get underneath it.
Three and 1.
It is cruel to consider, but if Garcia does walk, which he does not walk at all, Garver will walk as well. And you're going to pick on Austin Hedges, which is going to force Bochy possibly to go to Robbie Grossman as your pinch hitter.
Garcia drives one to right field. Corbin Carroll back of the wall. It's gone! A walk-off extra inning home run for the ultimate playoff hero for the Rangers. He's done it again. Adolis Garcia, just remarkable. And Brent Strom and the Diamondbacks, they look stunned. Seager in the ninth to tie it, and now Garcia here in the 11th to win it.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like what Garcia's gone through. 5 home runs in the American League Championship Series. This one he goes opposite field. It's 106 miles an hour off the bat. You're not quite sure if he got all of it. He did. Between Corey Seager and El Bombi, this should have been a Diamondbacks win.
He's homered in 5 straight games. They've played 13 playoff games. He's got 8 home runs. Even when it looks like they're trying to pitch around him, he's doing damage.
Amazing. Amazing.
This guy is turning into one of the biggest stars in the game. And the middle of the order, the power for the Rangers bailed him out. They were down to their final 2 outs. Seager with the home run to tie, and now Garcia, the 5th player in the history of playoff baseball to homer in 5 straight games. And he has done it in spectacular fashion. What a win for the Rangers to go ahead in this World Series 1-0.
I'm floored. My mouth is on the ground. I mean, for this guy, watch his teammates. They turn around and smile. They can't even believe it. You're not accustomed to seeing a run like this. Look at the reactions. They're like, why are you throwing to him? That's not humanly possible.
Well, and it's true, the point you make. I'm sure the Diamondbacks are thinking, how did we let that happen? How did we let the guy who keeps doing it over and over beat us with 1 swing? Right now, he's just that good. He had 3 more hits in this game. He had a walk, he stole a base, and he hits the walk-off home run. He also made a great catch when the Diamondbacks had a chance to add to their lead when they were still ahead. He's doing it all these days, and Rangers fans, that is not unique to that fan. They just cannot believe what they're seeing, and neither can we. Pretty amazing stuff. What a game 1, huh? The Arizona Diamondbacks were down. They roared back. They took a lead. Their great back end of the bullpen had the lead late, and then Corey Seager took Paul Sewald deep to tie it up. He knew it. Fast forward 2 more innings, and Adolis Garcia knew it too. The postseason hero comes through again. 6-5 and 11, the final score for Ryan Spilborghs and our whole crew. Dave Fleming saying so long. Thanks for being with us. We got more baseball to be played. Game 1 goes to the Rangers.
Well, what just happened there?
That was unbelievable.
Game 1 of the Fall Classic, in the books, classic being the key word. Yes. Hey, everybody. Martine Guyer and Tim McCallum with you inside our Sportsnet Central studios. Wow, we were writing the Cinderella story, has another chapter.
Those feisty snakes again, right? Yeah.
Our first extra inning post-game game of the postseason, I should say, and it was a beauty. We're going to have plenty of reaction to what you just saw at Globe Life Field after a wild one in Texas.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're into instant classic territory in the Fall Classic. Caleb Joseph is going to jump in and join Martine and I in studio mere moments away. In fact, he's sitting over there to help us break it all down. In case you missed it, here's what went down. Game 1 of the Fall Classic, an instant classic. The Rangers returning to the World Series. And for the first time since 2001, the D-backs are back And the man who threw out the first pitch in 2001, George W., is back to throw out the ceremonial first pitch to Pudge Rodriguez. And we are underway. Bottom of the first, it is the Rangers get on the board. Evan Carter, great young player to the gap. Corey Seager on his horse. He scores on the double. Texas 7-0 this postseason when they score first. Next batter, Adolis Garcia. You kidding me? 21st RBI in the playoffs ties him for the most in a single postseason. It is 2-0 Rangers as they are often pacing early. It's a good start for Nathan Eovaldi. Aims to become the first pitcher to win 5 starts in the postseason. But Corbin Carroll, this kid also good. The game is in good hands. He goes to the gap, ends up with a triple, and we are tied at 2. Next batter, Ketel Marte. Grounds it to Nathaniel Lowe. He goes home, but Carroll beats the throw. Pure speed, and the D-backs have a 3-2 lead. Bottom 3, bases loaded, 2 out. Zach Gallen walks Mitch Garver. Run scores, ties it at 3. Top 4, Snakes strike back.
Bases on the bases when they're on. Oh, here's a shot to left field by Pham. It's way back there, and Tommy Pham puts the D-backs in front. Oh, it's a leadoff shot here in the 4th for Pham, and it's 4-3 Arizona.
What up, fam? Tommy off the facing of the second deck, and the D-backs retake the lead. Get used to hearing stuff like that. Top 5, man on Ketel Marte. Red hot 17-game hit streak, ties an MLB postseason. We've got MLB postseason records all over the joint. And they get rid of Nasty Nate. Just 4 2/3, 5 runs on 6 hits. Bottom 6, man on. Low, drives deep. It is that close to a game-tying 2-run shot. Low knows he just missed it. Bottom 9, Paul Sewall in to close it out. Walks the leadoff runner, then this.
Could tie it with one swing. High drive! It's tied! Corey Seager has tied the game in the 9th.
8th home run, World Series history to tie or take the lead when trailing in the bottom of the 9th. That's our instant classic. We go to extra innings. Bottom 10, winning run at second, 2 out. Seager grounds out to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 11th. Still tied George W. Sporting the Texas hat, and who else? Adolis Garcia off Miguel Castro. His 5th straight game with a homer, and he walks it off. First since 2018 to walk off a World Series.